don't know why that was acting up there. Looks like well, my microphone is a little bit loud. There we go. How are you all doing this morning? Is the chat working? Chat seems to be working okay today. Don't know what was going the other day, but we're up and running. It was a little bit intense the other day. AVA is going for a ruck. Well, better you than me. Oh my god, my knees, my back, everything would be killing me if I tried to do something like that. I can do a walk. What do you want, dog? Go lay down. Let me pull up some stuff here. I am going to get into these motions. They didn't move over the way I asked them to, so I'm going to have to do it. But yeah, I'm going to get into those this morning. A lot of people were mad that I didn't go live. It's like, I do have stuff that I do. I understand you guys want to hear my take on it. But I do have stuff I got to get done too. I did want to check. Okay, yeah, get the stream all set up there. Good morning, Eric. We got Star in here. Star, thank you so much for all the stuff you've been sending me. I do appreciate it. Yeah, there was some interesting stuff happening. My Detroit Tigers have made the playoffs. They have clinched. I'm very happy about that. Me and my brother, we were trading some stuff on that. Yeah, something about last couple days. I've just been so tired. I've just been sleeping longer than what I normally do. I'm not I'm the type, I get my sleep, I'm up, I move. That's the type I am. I'm not really the type to it with insomnia. My whole thing was changed. I was never one to be able to nap, but with my insomnia, it kind of forces me to. And now I do calming techniques and stuff that I've done guided meditation. I've done ASMR. I've done, and I've talked about this on the show. The one thing I really do that I find calming is watching spray paint art videos. Show me a video of a dude doing spray paint art on the street, and it just relaxes me. Like my whole body, I feel the stress just kind of go away. And that's when I talk about PTSD and when I tell people, look, you got to do the work. That's the type of thing. You got to look into some of this stuff and, see if, whoa, that's why the microphone, it was super, super loud. Does it sound a little bit better now? Do I sound a little bit fuller? But yeah, you got to find those things that are going to calm you down. Speaking of which, I got some glare coming in on my whiteboard. There we go. I got to get a better stand for my webcam. I've been looking for a articulating arm that I can hook on here, much like what I have here. But this one's just very basic. It just goes out and it turns this way. I got to do some cable management now that I've reset everything. Sounds good. Yeah, this is. I actually really did like this mic, but I'd switched to a USB mic, and that's what I was using. But with this new soundboard, it doesn't have. It's got USB inputs, but I'd have to change and use a dongle, and I don't want to do that. So, man, that's hard to hear. The ding sound for me. What else do we got here? These are all just the automatic. One thing I might use is this has I can hook up my Bluetooth, um, my Bluetooth, the little things, the earbuds, and the soundboard is loud. Okay, I'll turn down the effects. I can see this one. Oh shit! I can see that soundboard being loud, but this one, it sounds so. No, that one's good. Too loud. Oh, I do have. I played the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
I even have Randy Shockett.
Again.
Get to Stefan. AVA. Soundboard is 3 times louder than voice. Okay, hold on. Oh, that should. Is that a little bit? Hold on here. Yeah, I've got my effects turned down low. Sorry, Roy. Okay, let's try this one. Is this one better? Better? Again?
Yeah.
Whoa, now I can't hear that. What? This is so weird. Oh, hold on.
No, I'm simply saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Because there's an effect thing here, but it doesn't tell me how low to turn those down. So I'll have to play with this some more. Yes, the soundboard is a completely separate unit. I've got all my cords going into it. I had one. I don't know where it's at because I used it for a while, but again, when I switched to the USB mic, I had to ditch it. And then I then went to I was using the USB mic and other stuff, and I've got a cheapy one that I had bought that was really cheap off Amazon, and that thing is for the most part a piece of junk. I only really use it if I'm going if I'm not going to be broadcasting here. Uncle Frank says to tell me hello. Well, hello, Uncle Frank. Cheers. I hope he's doing well, having evacuated from the storm. That's that was a tough thing. Your RV just fell down. I thought about. Hold on here, if I can get it. I was gonna add this to the soundboard. Where is it at here?
Yeah.
I was gonna clip that. I got a tree on my house and use that. Opie and Anthony used to use it quite a bit, but it's really good for the storm. You know, it's a good because a lot of people had trees fall on their homes. Um, oh, Jeremy's got his video about it will be thrown out. I gotta watch that. I'm driving today. I will be on the road. I've already got a video set up to go out tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to take a look and make sure that that is all set. Um, yeah, that okay. I do have that one. Okay, but I do. So that's a short that I've got set up. So I'm doing a good job of setting things up so that they come out. So even if I'm not here, you guys are getting something from me. Um, any damages made its way to Ohio. So yeah, my family they got hit with remnants of the storm, and it knocked out their power. I was just talking with them. The uh, guys were there fixing the power line. So I do have. So one thing I'm asked a lot about is, you know, I've got a son or a daughter or a nephew in the military, and you know, I'm always asked, you know, what should they do to prepare for their VA claims and all that good stuff. And I did a video that went out this morning that kind of addresses that. Uh, you know, because you can email yourself in the military, and you should email yourself and start journaling your medical stuff that way, because the military is gonna screw up your records. They absolutely are going to. I just realized I didn't send this out on, like, it's out on X, but I didn't send it to the people I normally do. So let me send this out. Maybe we'll get some more people in here. Send via DM. Boom. 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 So there we go. Got that sent out. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't send it out the way I normally do. It happens. It happens. And I've got people. Okay. Okay. I'm just checking out DMs. People send me DMs while I'm doing the show. Mother Forklifter, he made it. 03 Infantry, you made it. I gotta. That's a one I gotta clip. I gotta. Um, oh, hold on. There we go. 03 Infantry. There we go. I finally got to. People were sending me a lot of clips from the Leeches podcast. I had to laugh about that because they had someone on and they were talking about how I'm not a, like, at first it's funny how these people go. At first I wasn't a real vet. I was lying about that, which I have to laugh. It's like, yeah, I've dedicated a whole show to a lie. Okay. Uh, uh, Hold on, I want to read this. Have you heard from Switch? Contacted Shizzy herself, and hubby and baby are in Savannah because they have no power at home. No, I did not hear about that, but I haven't heard from her. Um, that doesn't surprise me though. Like, you know, I'm of all the people she would need to contact, I'm at the very, very low end. Um, I do hope that they're doing okay. If they made it to Savannah, um, I would bet that that was, they're probably in a hotel or something, just so that, you know, they can you know, have power, because you do, you know, your life is just easier with power. Means we'll get the rain across Lake Erie Pond in a couple days. Probably today, because yeah, my family got hit. They're outside of Columbus. They got hit last night. But thankfully, I've got family on one side of Columbus and family on another side of Columbus. So when their power went out, they just packed up and went to my brother's. She just streamed from the hotel yesterday. Okay, yeah. See, I wasn't home, so I didn't catch all that. And I know people were mad, but it's like I wasn't at home. You know, I, I like being able to make content for you guys, but I do have to do stuff. And here's the thing, like my priority in life, number one is going to be my kid always. So whenever there's any type of conflict with that, he's going to win. So just FYI. My hubby kept all his paperwork from the military. When he finally retired, I scanned it all into 3 thumb drives. Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. That's why I say, if you email yourself, like I've got a digital copy of my DD-214 in my email. And whenever someone says we need a copy of your DD-214, which has come up a couple times, especially with government stuff, then I can very quickly be like, okay, yeah, here, let me send it to you. That happened just last month. And, so you should have electronic copies of the stuff. If you keep it in your email, it's accessible enough, I found. But if you send yourself emails about your medical conditions while you're still on active duty, that's considered a government record. And it makes it way easier to service connect all of your stuff. I wonder how many veterans with power mobility devices are currently without constant power and protection from elements. But that's, Eric, that's why we're talking with the senator. Like the senator his office starts asking questions about that for you. The VA is going to back down. They're going to back down every time. Same thing. I made some calls on AVA's behalf. I'm calling the California senator. Everyone in the description of this, I've got a article about Kahanu, and you should absolutely check out that article. Please share it to every veteran that you know, because yeah. And that video that I had that went out today, that video is like it will help, some people. Like it'll help people who are in the military who don't know they have no clue about the VA. They've never dealt with it, so they have no clue what it's going to take to prepare for dealing with the VA. Roll Tide, Yoda. If we're going to talk about Georgia and Alabama, you're gonna get the banjos. I'm just looking through some of the stories and stuff here, seeing if there's anything big. I will get to the motion. I'm just checking to see what else is happening. I'm checking my my True Social right now. My True Social keeps growing. I go on there and I post. The problem I love Twitter because it's conversations. True Social is starting to get to that, but for a long time it was a lot of people who just wanted to put their just wanted to scream and shout essentially. And I was like, yeah, that's not really what I want. So I was on there and I would make my posts, but I would much rather have conversations with people. I don't want to scream in an echo chamber. But it's getting better. There are people starting to discuss things now. Oh, and I got more followers. So let me follow them back. I'm 7,420 people on there is what I got. And a bunch of bots are trying to send me nudes. The banjos are the majority of the 67 counties in Alabama. Is there 67 counties? That's a lot. It's not the world's biggest state. I am in the biggest county in America. Our county is bigger than the state of Rhode Island. You don't hear a lot of banjos in South Alabama. We got 100 people in here. Everybody hit the like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I do appreciate you being here. I hope you brought your coffee. I got mine. I want a divorce. Spawn Trooper in the house. Lady Gaga fires back at ex-NYU classmate Facebook group claiming she'd never be famous. Okay. Who cares? I'm not a big Lady Gaga person. Like, okay. Okay, hold on here. Bringing Spawn Trooper in here. I'm gonna go here. Well, I'll wait till Spawn Trooper gets in. Well, actually, here I'm just gonna go refill my coffee. I'll be right back, folks. Okay, I'm back, and we've got Spawn Trooper with us. You changed your avatar, Spawn Trooper.
Yes, that is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, Wookiees, Ewoks, and werewolves. Greetings and salutations. Veteran, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing okay. Got some good rest last night, finally.
Yes, same here, same here. I've got my coffee, which was made by my beloved queen. And, oh, hi, puppy. How you doing, darling? Oh, look at her. Anyway, how are you? I did something naughty, Mike.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Basically, I didn't appreciate the way they were talking about you and questioning your service and picking on a brother from another mother.
It really bothered me.
Oh, it bothered me. It bothered me. Mike, you need to put the kids to bed when we're talking like this. I've told you before. Hey, Amago. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much. Yes, I went live yesterday, and it'll be the first and last time I ever do that. Never doing it again. And he believed in the first day that, yes, anyway, yeah.
It triggers me.
That is so loud. How do I turn you down?
I don't know. Let me turn down my microphone and or
No, don't touch anything. It's just I'll just turn my main volume down. Oh, wait a minute. I know why, because I got it turned up. Right. Okay. Now, first of all, I would like to just make an announcement. I want to congratulate Bruce and his wife of the upcoming anniversary of 24 years of marriage. on the 11th of November. Just yeah, congratulations, everybody. Yeah. Also, some breaking news in regards of Robbie. Robbie Merzis, also known from Swamp Brothers. And I just thought I'd come and join you with a coffee. You know, talk about good shit. Oh. Did I ever mention about my deployment to Iraq in 2003?
No.
And about the policy that we were not allowed to bring anything out of the operational theater unless it went through the military police and
Just the facts, ma'am.
That's
easy, Tiger. I am trying to get the facts. Okay, I'm trying to get the facts. Okay.
No. You're speaking facts. That's why I pushed that.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, we had the same thing. You could take war trophies, but you had to go through a very long and arduous process to do that.
Paperwork, and you had to go through the military police. You had to go through CID or SIB.
Yep.
You had to get a certificate if it was a firearm or
the JAG had to
like
sign off on it.
Yeah, the JAG had to sign off it, and there was a lot of stuff that needed there was a lot of T's needed crossing, a lot of I's needed dotting, and a lot of noses needed punching. But yeah, and I find it quite strange that someone from the 75th Ranger Battalion was able to just leave Iraq with certain objects of a chandelier type of thing. Yeah. Factum Diversified, we need to talk about your name, dude. You know I can't pronounce your name. Can I just call you Fat Boy? No, I'm joking. No, hi, brother. Yeah. So you were in Iraq 91, so that means you were in Saudi Arabia. That means you were in was it Bahrain? I think you were stationed in Bahrain, somewhere close Bahrain, somewhere. But yeah. But let's have a giggle. I watched a video with yours truly, Bubbles. I like to play Bubbles. And I'm watching the video, and you know that witches don't like werewolves.
Really?
Yes. Unfortunately, they both had to. Yeah, I will call you late for dinner, diversified, you bitch. Anyway,
where did our chat overlay go? I'm sorry. Normally,
I don't know.
So, sorry about that, folks.
Oh, there you go. How are you doing today? I am suffering from a migraine, so that's probably why I'm a little bit sort of diffused. But don't fuck with me.
Here's the thing. I'm going to address this. Anyone who wants to dock my 501c3, here's what you're going to find. We opened it last year, and we didn't pull in any money last year. There you go. This year, we pulled in just less than $500. There you go. That's what you're going to find. And yeah, the address that people keep posting and the pictures of the house that people keep posting, that is not my house. If you are doxing, and if you see people do that, they are literally doxing someone who is a completely private person, and that is illegal.
And I was thinking about this. I've been watching quite a lot of stuff that's going on, and because of obviously, unfortunately, 44 people have lost their lives in this storm. So I am sort of like ceasefiring. I am making a ceasefire agreement with myself. However, I will discuss certain topics that have already been discussed. I am not going to stand by and watch you be dragged through the dirt, even though you've got an opinion, right? That's not going to happen, right? No, I'm not going to allow that. So when I saw that happen and I heard that happen, I decided to do a check on Robbie. And yeah, a lot come up about Robbie, about his criminal record, about Snowflake. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a sarcastic name. Snowball, yeah, albino alligator.
Unlike them, I've beaten all charges.
Yes, and unfortunately they haven't. But here's the thing. Okay, the one thing I like the fact, right? When you say something, you've got facts. You show proof. That's what I like about you.
Or
Right.
I'll say I can't verify this, or this is a rumor.
Exactly. And the same thing for me. Like, yes, the other day, I decided that, you know, I needed to start digging on a couple of other people, and believe it or not, I accidentally put Bruce Matskin's name in, and even more crap turned up, which I wasn't aware of. And I was like, ching ching, honey, I'm home. Hello, Mr. Ed.
I am not encouraging anyone going into any of these people's backgrounds or anything. You know, they have a right to do their show. That's my opinion on it. But
Yep.
Spawn Trooper does Spawn Trooper. I do not control Spawn Trooper.
Nope. Even Satan is scared of me. Now, let me just make something absolutely sure on a legal standpoint, a legal basis. Okay, I'm going to follow up with what Mike just said. These checks and research I do are not to intimidate, to blackmail, or anything else. It's for educational and for how can I put it? Educational. Yeah, I'll say more educational. And there's only, if you've noticed, there's only a certain amount of information I will actually put out. Everything else stays completely redacted, stays private, and is not even on my computer. As soon as I get it, it's taken off my computer. So that stuff is protected. And it will get deleted and destroyed after I've viewed it and everything.
It makes me upset.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say, if you are making comments online about that you have all the information, and then 12 hours later a post is put up and you have not checked that document or that screenshot, and you do not redact the information, like that happened on the What the Hell's hate group, you are putting yourself into a legal conundrum, because you are deliberately putting out information that is classified as doxing and as also as a cybercrime.
This has got to be an Irish name. This is like, I've never seen this name, so this has got to be like a very Irish name.
Is it Serendi? Oh, yeah.
Give us the phonetic spelling so we don't butcher it any more than what we have. One
Charlie,
of them to sending the video with the Guapo to Olight. We actually, there's several people, and these dummies have posted it. And I did post a thing where I was like, oh, hey, yeah, that's tortious interference. And they were like, no, it isn't. I'm like, it literally is. And they were like, no, it's not against the law. Again, I never said it was against the law. It's tortious interference, which is civil, much lower bar for civil court.
How you?
Very nice.
Just two more things. Is AVA in here?
He's listening. He is on a ruck ruck march this morning.
Yeah, I just want to make sure he's okay. That's all. I just want to send my love, and you know.
Oh, him and I had a conversation yesterday. It was you know, it was a great conversation. We see a lot of eye to eye on things, and I think we're going to be doing more things together.
Good. I just want to quick shout out to the brothers and sisters here in here. Angry Vet, Eric, you know, AVA, you know, because me and we had a chat. We had a heart to heart the other day, which was nice. It was nice. It was really nice. But yeah, there's a like, so I said the other day to someone, I said, you know, with this storm, I said, with this storm that's going on, I'm gonna sort of cease. I'm gonna cease fire. I'm gonna clean my weapon. I'm gonna wash my gear, iron it, and get ready for. I've watched, talking about Megan Fox. I watched her stream the other night with that chap. I can't remember his name. And I think this is now the third motion that's been denied by the courts. Is that correct, Mike?
So I believe in this case, there's two, and I am going to get into it. In this case, there's two. I believe in the other case, there's one. I'm a little bit, I could be wrong, so don't quote me because there are some people who are like, there's three in this case. Calm down. And there's a lot of people making a big hullabaloo about this motion. And that was a big thing I wanted to discuss is people just need to calm down. It's at the end of the day, it's not the case. It's emotion. People were texting me and saying, Jeremy won. It's like, it's emotion.
Yeah, it's emotion. Well,
Sometimes
yeah, I mean,
lawyers submit motions knowing they're going to be denied, but they're doing it to add it into the court record because if there ends up being an appeal, it offers them different strategies.
Yeah, and also what I found quite interesting, do you know that when I mentioned about these, oh, wait a minute, what's Eric saying? Change your socks and stuff.
If anyone has comms with Megan, tell her about the Angry Vet story. I did send Kahanu's, the article I did on Kahanu to her. But yeah, Angry Vet has a story that more journalists need to know about. Sorry.
And it's funny you mentioned journalists, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Very, very interesting. Like, excuse me. I watched the video where, for some reason, Bubbles ended up getting a platform, and he was talking about his Connecticut issue that he's got on the bar. Now, I find it quite strange when it's like, if, say, for example, Mike, if I asked you a question, what do you think of my new picture? And you don't send me an answer and you don't answer it, but all you do is come out with stupid comments and stuff like that. Now, I'm a type of person, if I do research, I don't do research to be vindictive or to be malicious. I research so I can correctly ask the correct questions at the correct time. So when I asked, that certificate was off, the writing was off, regardless if it was printed or, whatever. So when I asked a question, are you in good standing with the Connecticut bar committee? And you say, yes, I am. Here's the certificate. Here's the letter of good standing. Then explain to me why there's a date from 1997 and then there's a date from August 2024, because the date at the beginning should be the same as the date at the end. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm some bar association expert. I'm not. Unless if I know something's wrong, I'm not gonna, point it out. But I really couldn't answer that question. Well, I can, because he shot himself in the foot in that stream. When he was talking to this journalist from New York, or I believe he was a journalist, or I don't know. Bruce actually admitted that he's been in this hearing since 2022, and it's still ongoing. So that means if he has a hearing, regardless if it was in 2022 or if it's now, right, that means he's not in good standing on a technical matter. So therefore, he should be putting that information forward when he goes to the Florida bar. But he hasn't done that. Well, I assume he hasn't done that. And it's, but that's by and by. I don't really care anymore because I've got under his skin. I know how he functions. I know how he thinks. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think Lynette could do better as a lawyer than he could. And that's giving a lot of credit to someone who I think. But the most important thing is Stark. I'm still want the answer from that letter, where the letter at the bottom was photocopied or like a inserted screenshot of his signature, but right underneath was the name with the wrong initial in it. But That's not why I'm here. Someone attacked you verbally. Someone put you down verbally, Veteran Nation, and you do a lot for veterans. You've even helped me by being funny and causing me a headache with your freaking soundboard. Right? And I've met a
It
lot of
makes me upset.
Oh God, that woman. Ugh.
That'll
Right.
definitely cause you a headache.
Yes, yeah, that voice does go through my head. So I did some digging because Robbie was telling a story about teaching rangers that stayed at his property for a month. Now I find that quite strange that his property never was insured and that he's been doing it for 20 years. Now, what would have happened if one of those rangers would have been bit, stung, or attacked by one of the gators and got hurt? And I don't like saying it, but underlived by one of these animals, and he has no insurance. So I did some digging, and the reason I know that he doesn't have any insurance is because the Daily Commercial newspaper made an article about him about some legal issues he had, which you can find online. He got 12 months in jail and $2,000 fine, and he didn't. And basically, unfortunately, he had a fire on his property. No speculation or alleged. I'm not going to discuss that. And unfortunately, 43 animals were unalived due to the fire, and a albino or white alligator was stolen or did a runner. So that alligator is now on the run. Is a fugitive of the law. And and basically he didn't have insurance. So going back to the thing, just prior to
So you did send me the audio of Robbie, and are we going to get into that today?
Yes, we are.
Okay, because I it did make me chuckle. I do very quickly though. I do want to plug a fellow veteran though, Sergeant Gravy. There, I've got his thing up. This is his YouTube channel. He's a huge supporter of my show, Angry Vet AVA, and he's a disabled veteran. But he's a really good dude. Like, you want to talk about a veteran who, a lot of veterans they go through a lot of adversity and whatnot, and just get angry at the world. He could be angry at the world, but chooses not to be. So I do have the link here in the comments. If everyone could please go and follow Sergeant Gravy on YouTube, I know he would appreciate it.
Wait, hang on a minute. You're not arrested yet?
I am not arrested. No.
Oh my God, I'm so disappointed right now.
I think it's been a month now. And all the people who told me I was getting arrested for fake phone calls, I am not arrested. And all they have to do, the Levy County Sheriff, if they want me arrested, all they have to do is contact the San Bernardino County Sheriff, who does have my information. They were here last weekend. They know where I live. They could come and arrest me, or just call me, and I will turn myself in.
Shall I come and arrest you?
If you put me in handcuffs, I will be very worried.
Hey, listen, at least I'll do it more professionally. More professional side. Anyway, yes, right.
Thank
So
you, dogs.
You know what you should do on that soundboard? You should get handcuffs getting locked up, getting that. Oh no, oh God, what have I done? What was I saying? Yes, Robbie. Right, just to give you a backstory about this chap. Robbie and an associate were part of a Discovery Channel program called Swamp Brothers. And obviously, I wasn't interested in that crap. I used to watch Gold Rush and, stuff like that. And all this other stuff about fixing old cars. And, there was a lot of programs up there. Now, I am the type of person, you ask anyone who knows me, I've got a good sense of humor, and I try to be to the point as I possibly can. But the thing is, when I first listened to Robbie, I was like, he's a bit of a strange one. and listen to the fleas and all that. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm listening to all this, and then he went, "Oh, I am distant related to Schwarzkopf. I am the third cousin of the fifth wife of the second brother of the ninth daughter, cousin of the third, fifth, and fourth related sort of bystanding. They walked past me, and she got pregnant, and then that was me who got born. You know what I mean? And like Schwarzkopf apparently sent these two checks, $100 checks to his sons and that." And I mean, like, yeah, Schwarzkopf would, like, out of all the fucking thousands of people he's met and spoken to, he would send this guy, right? And then it dawned on me. It fucking dawned on me. Robbie, okay, I went into his stream last night, but we'll get to that, all right? Robbie has a bit of fame behind him, all right, because of this discovery program. Okay, fair enough. Good Jews. Yeah, he did well. He got paid for it, so I'm not going to judge him on that. But then he got arrested he got arrested and by federal law, under federal law, for trying to smuggle, right, protected snakes in the States, and tried to smuggle them to Europe for $800. Okay. And his partner got 18 months and $4,000 fine, and he got 12 months, right? That was in 2013. He was 48 at the time. And then obviously you got these other idiots talking, and then suddenly Robbie comes out with this absolute. I'll be honest with you. When he started talking about it, the minute he said, "Oh, when we went into Iraq," within seconds, someone in there thought he was a service personnel or he was a vet. So they went, "Thank you very much for your service." I fucking hit the roof. I went absolutely mad. I was like, what the hell are you doing? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the problem. When you listen to someone and they say something like that, and then you get someone who is a follower or easily manipulated or very easily convinced, and they say, "Thank you for your service" to someone, and the only service he did was to the alligators. It brings disrespect to the guys and the girls who gave that ultimate sacrifice in every single operation that existed.
I find whenever I'm attacked about my service, there's two groups. There's people who don't like my political opinion. And that's their go-to. They'll immediately be like, "You're not a real vet. No real vet would hold your opinion." And I'm just like, okay, whatever. When really my opinions are not too dissimilar from most veterans. My opinions on guns, my opinions on the government. Yeah, most veterans hold those opinions.
Yeah.
And then the other group is people who are very protective of military service, so much so that a couple of them have had like stolen valor investigation websites and stuff, which I did get shut down. And one thing I found about those groups is it was a lot of people who didn't serve, and a lot of people who, they served, but they only did 4 years, which again, no problem.
4 years is 4 years.
4 years, but I was in 17 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I know. I'm not saying I'm an expert about the military, but I've been around, man. You know.
When I was in there, man. Oh yeah, that's another point. Apparently, man, you went in there, man. You in there. You don't know what it's like, man.
I have to laugh that they said I wasn't a combat veteran, because in my picture of me, which I should pull up, my picture of me in Afghanistan, they're like, he wasn't wearing a plate carrier. He wasn't, and it's like, no, I absolutely was in Afghanistan. I was a fobbit. I was on a fob, so there was no reason for me to wear a plate carrier. I was an officer. I sat at a desk.
Unless they came on fire.
I did do 2 convoys, which I was happy to do. It was good to get outside the wire. I wanted to, but I had my boss who was like, "You're not going outside the wire if I can help it."
And for those mortals, because obviously we are immortals. For you mortals, when they go out on convoys under the British terminology, it's called a CLP, right? Which means Combat Logistics Patrol. Okay, so yeah, just for you guys. And there was a lot of them, and it took hours just to get 5 miles. But anyway, we digress. Where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah. But the thing is, if you're going to attack someone, do your research. But when I heard Robbie start talking about this thing, about these rangers, now I did a check, I did some digging, as I do. I should be called a mole. No, I can't be called a mole because moles give you information. No. Anyway, just call me a seeker, a heat seeker of information. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I did a check, and it turns out that on the 26th of March, 2003, the second of 75 Ranger Battalion and the first of 75, to be exact, it was B Company of the 75th Ranger Battalion were deployed. Now, I've put a couple of feelers out to friends who I served with in Iraq in 2003. And anyone who knows anyone who served in the battalion, in the Ranger Battalion between 2002, 2001, 2002 to 2005 or onwards, anyone from the 75th Ranger Battalion, get hold of me or get hold of Mike, because we'd like to have a chat with you in your ear, especially the gentleman called Travis, who must have been the team leader or the commanding officer, or the main.
That's all you. If they call, I'm going to direct them straight to you.
Yep, direct them straight to me, because I am now as a journalistic investigation. Yeah.
Here's the picture that they were discussing. Let me pull this up. So this is the picture that they were talking about. And what's funny is there's a very specific reason I have this picture posted. So as you can see, I was a lieutenant in Afghanistan, got my lieutenant bars. Okay. You see this thing here?
That's your fuel, isn't it?
No.
Oh, water. That's your...
And you see this big puddle? Yeah, this had burst. And this was one of the it was this one that burst. These were the bladders that held the black water. So this is a lake of poop.
Right.
And I was the camp safety officer, and when we were out there to do the cleanup, so someone had to be there to to supervise the cleanup. And being that it was so high priority and everything, that's why I had to be out there. And it smelled so bad. And see, you can see the guard tower. This is Camp Leatherneck. This was Helmand Province in 2010, and it was during the surge in Helmand Province. So we were supporting the combat operations. At no point did I say I don't have a combat action ribbon. I have not personally taken fire, but the convoy I was in took fire. But that wasn't enough to rate a badge. But yeah, this was the picture that they were making a big thing on, because I'm not wearing a plate carrier. As you can see, I've got my weapon there though. But it was, why would I have a plate carrier? I was on the base.
Yeah.
So I have to laugh that's their big deal that they made.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you guys had a different a couple of different rules than we did. I mean, if we were on base, you'd take your vest and your equipment with you, but it would be in a vehicle. But you had to carry your weapon with you at all times. So yeah, that there is the typical norm. If you're on base, you don't. Oh God, he's in a banana suit. Jesus,
that's me in the banana suit, having me a Cuban cigar. Now,
there's always one, isn't there?
Here's why I love this picture. First off, that's me, and this is our. She was a colonel at the time, but this is Lori Reynolds. She ended up becoming the highest ranking female Marine officer ever.
Nice.
She became a lieutenant general and retired several years ago. The reason why this picture was taken, this was New Year's Eve for when it went from 2010 to 2011. So this was middle of the night, January 1st, 2011. And actually my roommate organized a 5K aboard the base, and we all ran in the 5K. That's why we all have bib numbers. But our admin chief, he ran as the Grinch, and I had my ex-wife send me the banana suit, and I ran as a banana. And when you're fobbits, you do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I love that picture. I think this might be the first time I've ever showed that picture publicly.
I mean, the funniest part I ever experienced when we were on tour, we were down in Unkazar, and then we went on patrol. Well, we had to go up to Basra Palace, and then we had to go to the former Ba'ath Party headquarters in Basra. And someone said, "Oh yeah, you guys need to go to Shaiba Log Base." Okay, we went to Shaiba, and we had to stay there overnight. And then next, we're standing there. We're getting all that crap out of our vehicles. We've been on the go for nearly 48 hours actually. And next, these guys run past us with high vis belts across their chest and running in swimming attire, like they Richie had swimming trunks on, and they're running by. And we were like, "Oh my God, what have we walked into on this one?" And that was the old campies, like the guys who unfortunately don't get out of camp and don't go on patrols because of because of the jobs they do in camp. And without those guys, we would have never got our equipment, our food, our ammunition, and that. And yeah, I'm gonna from now on, I'm calling you Banana Boy.
Don't ask me why, but my chief, he wanted pictures of everyone with the banana phone. I don't know why. So I've got, and you can see the date, December 10th, 2010, right? Well, actually, hold on. No, you guys can't see it.
Yeah. There you go. And just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, it is true. He did have hair in them days.
He did. That was the start of me balding, the stress of that. Here's what people don't know. Like being deployed is great. Because you get so much done, but you do work a lot. I would come in at 7 a.m, and most nights I would stay till 9 o'clock at night in my office, just getting stuff done. Now, I did put up that comment that said where Sergeant Mitch said that Skipper volunteered for all the shit jobs. Yes, I did, and there was a very good reason for it. Because when you volunteer for stuff, which I did volunteer for quite a bit. This is me. Obviously, I'm a plate carrier, but where's my weapon? Where's my other stuff? Not in the picture. Because here I was in the UAE. I was deployed. And if you see in the background this road, we just hiked that road. We had just hiked up right there. So I was there as part of a training team with the UAE soldiers. And that was another deployment. I had volunteered to go to Afghanistan again. And someone bumped me, but I went to the UAE instead and had a great deployment there.
Yeah, that's so. Oh God, what was I going to say? So basically, yeah, a little message to those idiots who say that about his service and all that. Shut up. Yeah. But here's like going back to Robbie now. Like I said, and like Mike has said, and I'm going to say this publicly, like, if there's anyone out there from the 75th who went on deployment in 2003, yeah, get hold of me. And at the end of the day, you can come on Facebook, or you can come on my YouTube and just leave a message there, and I'll get back to you. All right? Because all I need is verification, because I don't believe a bloody word that guy said.
So he was talking that he said that because you sent me the clip yesterday and I listened to it. He was
Yes,
saying
sir.
that the Rangers came to his farm, whatever,
Mm.
for 30 days, camping out
Yeah.
for
Basically,
animal familiarization for all the animals that they would be facing in Iraq.
right. Basically,
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's bullshit.
yeah, he would. Well, to use his wording, if I can remember correctly, because unfortunately I had to take some medication for the issue I've got at the moment. From what he said that he was contacted by the military and they wanted to know if he could, how much it would cost them to send troops down to learn about, animals that would come, they would come across in the Middle East. Now, even I know that there's hardly any animals in the Western Hemisphere that actually exist over there, except possibly you could train people on snakes, because obviously there's venomous snakes like the sand snakes and that over there.
Yep.
You can train people on scorpions, because there's various different types of scorpions. Like, a lot of people think that the black scorpion is the most dangerous one. It's not. It's the white scorpion, the desert scorpion, the white one. That's the most dangerous. Yep. And then obviously you've got the desert rat, which a tank battalion from the British Armed Forces is actually called the Desert Rats, and they served in the first Gulf War, which was called Operation Desert Storm or Desert Shield, depending what country you were from. And so this training would probably take place in one day, probably half a day, and the thing is, you would not have a whole company, or you'd probably have like a section or a platoon. And yeah,
well, when you did your animal training before you deployed, what was it?
Well, basically, we got told on a Friday that on a Monday morning that we had to go in for, because obviously this was OPTAC training, so pre-deployment training, and we'd been on the ranges and sorting the weapons out and then equipment out and everything else. And because I was a BCDT instructor, I had to sit down with the medics and the team medics, and we had to go through all the equipment and that. After that, we were told after the weekend on a Monday morning, we would have to report to the education center because we would be going through different things, because obviously we had to learn Arabic, like Tahal, Salam Alaikum, Alaikum Salam, Zadiri, which means friend, Rohan, yeah. So we had to learn certain terminologies to basically break the ice. It was about hearts and minds. It was about communication. You didn't want to go in there thumping around. So on the Monday, though, we were going to do animal recognition and knowledge base. We arrived about 8 o'clock in the morning, and basically there was a guy he was actually an Iraqi, and he would then basically talk to us about different types of animals, what you could see. He would joke about sandflies, that they bite the shit out of you up to your knee. And then, and he said, don't scratch it, put some, be careful what you put on your legs, because sandflies, when they bite you, they do leave a, they're really crap, basically, because sandflies, and
we
then
had the ability, we were able to turn in some of our camis to have DEET put on them if we wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, you got flies, you got mosquitoes, and everything else. The biggest factor over there was the heat stroke, and obviously some burns and stuff. But like, we started about 8 o'clock. We had a naffy break about 10 to 10:30, and then we got taken over into a hangar where there was it was like a horseshoe, and then from the left all the way around, so we went clockwise around. He would then introduce us to that different bugs, like the big beetles, like the shit beetles, and different beetles that lived over there. I think there was one called a bullet beetle. I can't remember. At the same time, while we were doing that, he would then say words in Iraqi or in Persian or Arabian, and we would have to like, for example, yes and no. It would be la is no, is yes. And so we would say, would he say, is this a snake? And we would have to respond in Iraqi, la, so he would say again.
I'm answering the question. Robbie is not a veteran, has never served.
Yeah. So if I can remember correctly, we had 2 sections. I said there was like 25 guys there, right? That includes like senior NCOs and everything. And what we did, we went through each thing. We saw snakes. We saw different types of scorpions. We saw different types of rats, mice.
Yep.
The
Yep.
desert rat, for example, which has got large. It looks like a kangaroo, but it's like a mouse type looking animal. And then came the scariest fucking part, the arachnids. I was like, because I was like the class clown. I was all joking and thought, oh, Spider-Man. And then they turned around and they actually had a fully grown camel spider on this display. And this fucking thing was really big. I mean, the body, I would say the body length was about 5 to 6 inches. It was about 1.5 inches thick. So, I mean, if you take a little remote from, these LED lights, you take that remote, it was a little bit thicker, or width-wise, it was a little bit bigger than that. And the legs reached out. It does look like a spider, but the thing is, what he explained, he said it's a mix between a scorpion and a spider. And they've got a venom, and they bite you, and it numbs the area, and it softens that area up, so the camel spider can then digest what it's eating. And and then after that we went through, and then I think we went to 12:30. We went to lunch. About 1:30 we came back, and that was the class over. And then after that we had language class.
That's camel spiders are big. They can actually get to the size of, I would say, a squirrel. They are in the US. They're an invasive species, not where I live, but I've heard of them up in Utah. But yeah, they so for me, we didn't even get that detailed, but then again, my deployment came later. We got an hour long PowerPoint. That was what we got about familiarization of the animals. So his story is a whole unit traveled to his compound, business, whatever, stayed for a month
in the hotel
for animal familiarization.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not happening.
No,
I believe I do believe the government probably reached out to him. They probably even said, "Hey, if we would pay you to even come onto our base to do some of this stuff." But there are things that the government has to do. The big one is being bonded. The government to do that, which is as real as I could see it. Him bringing some snakes and stuff to the unit. He would need to have to prove to the government that he had insurance. He would need to fulfill all these different things because there's liability at stake.
Exactly.
But a unit traveling to him with all of their equipment and that's what he said. They brought their Humvees. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit. That is way too expensive. And there's no way that would ever happen.
Yeah, I mean, just for us, I mean, we were lucky because obviously the Iraqi guy who was there, I think he was a teacher or something. So, and like, I mean, we spoke to him afterwards, after the lessons, because don't forget, you've got like section or platoon after platoon after platoon. I mean, this guy was doing lessons every day, all day for weeks, right? Because OPTAC training is not just overnight. I mean, you're doing tactical training, you're doing patrol training, you're doing FOB training. You know, you like as a former BCDT instructor, right? You have to train guys how to react on heat stroke or on injuries, on wounds, like, catastrophic wounds. I'm not going to go into it because obviously it'll breach the TOS. And this was going over a few weeks. I mean, like, OPTAC training for Afghan was a bit longer and it was more entail, but when it came to language and animals, it was very short because it's just like going to Canada. When we went to Canada, people who'd never been to Canada before, you sat, and it was in a cinema. It was a PowerPoint presentation, and it lasted for 2 hours. And basically, it was like, right, boys, girls in Canada. There are two types.
Organization, so if someone gets bitten or stung or something,
Yeah.
they can identify, and then the doctors can adequately treat. You don't need a month-long training for that.
Exactly.
You don't even need a day-long training for that.
Exactly.
Um,
I mean,
So,
like,
and what's funny is we talked all about what they discussed without having to violate their copyright. I do want to point that out, which is funny. And
Yeah.
I would never be talking about him if Spawn Trooper didn't bring this to the show.
yeah,
Like,
and the thing is, being veterans. I mean, to give you an example, like I was mentioning about Canada, I got in trouble because when they started the PowerPoint presentation, there was like stars and everything. And you know me, I've got a stupid sense of humor. So I sat there, everyone was quiet. Next thing you got these stars and the music was that low. So I went, space, the final frontier, where, you know, I just went and then saw, yeah. And all I heard was the RSM go, shut up. And in that power presentation, they warned us about obviously rats and stuff, because we were going to be on the plates in Alberta. There's a big training place called Battus, and they warned us about two types of snakes. There are two types of rattlesnakes or snakes on the prairie. One of them is non-venomous, and the other one is venomous. And they said the first thing you need to do if you get bit by a snake is you need to look at the wound, and if there's puncture wounds, right, then you need to get the snake, you kill it or capture it. Sorry, if there's puncture wounds, yes. And he said if there's no puncture wounds, then you obviously all you're going to have is like a snake head's shape of small teeth.
yeah,
right? Because the puncture wounds, the two fangs are bigger than the teeth of the rest of the teeth, and that's what. And then we got shown the two different types of snakes, and that was it. Oh, you're from Alberta? Yes, Medicine Hat. Went there every. So yeah, and that lasted 2 hours, and like I got bollocking for doing the old enterprise stuff there, but Robbie, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, it's already been proven several times. Robbie says is all lies, is what Max Lab puts. Why would you have someone like that on? He's been convicted of a felony for one, but yeah, if he's a BSer, why would you even put him on your show?
Because his face has been on TV. He is famous. He was Swamp Brothers. He was one of the two Swamp Brothers, and unfortunately, look, I'm like I've always said this. It has to be in the water. Now, I don't like to put people down, but over in America, I've come across people who, when they've got that little bit of fame, they will like put neon lights around it and everything else. Now, all right, fair dues. He was on a show called Swamp Brothers. Fair dues. All right, not gonna take that away from him. But the crap that came after that is I mean, it's on the public domain. You can find everything about him. And what the hell's that message? Oh, almost awful. I post I hated being there. Outdoors minute, but I don't know. I just hated that place. Like Charles was really. And I'll give you something else that a lot of people. And where's that Lynette? You're from Alberta. Now tell me if I am lying or if I'm not. Okay, tell me if I'm lying or not. I was sitting outside. We were OPFOR, okay, opposition forces, okay. And I'd been up 37 hours and I was knackered. I was chin strapped. So I got my coffee, I had a couple of biscuits, and I sat outside where the hangars were, because they were right outside OPFOR. And I'm sitting there, and I sort of like was dropping off, and I could feel something pulling my hand. And what I had a cookie in my hand. And when I looked down, I saw a gopher looking up at me with both of its front paws on that biscuit, trying to break a piece of biscuit off. And it did, and then it did a runner. It ran off. Right? So I'm sitting there absolutely still, and then this bloody thing came back, broke another piece of the cookie off, and then done a runner. In the end, that little freaking hairball got a full cookie off me.
I'm
Yeah,
looking.
but anyway,
So
sorry,
I'm going to put up this shirt because we've got Sergeant Mitch in the chat who said he was at Fort Polk. So I'm going to show you this one.
oh God.
So
Why
this
am
is
I-
a shirt that we have specifically on Fort Polk.
Oh,
Most oppressed duty station in America. This is where your hopes and dreams come to die. And of course, it's got the alligator.
oh crap.
Uh,
Is that like your optac training, your animal? Oh, that reminds me. Is there a department or detachment called the dangerous animals veterinary vet? Oh, that's not a cat. I'm telling you right now, that is not a cat. That is a fucking lion, man. That's a mountain lion. He's gorgeous, though.
it's my cat gun. Pachoo, pachoo,
Oh,
pachoo, pachoo.
He's like going, I'm too old for this shit. Good morning. I lay in bed here wearing the birthday suit, listening to Mike and Spawn. Right, as TMI, mate. Too much information. We know that you got a worm. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so yes, there you go. Lynette Shordell. Is it Shoresdell or Shordell? Anyway, you are telling the truth. They are little thieves. Yes, and actual fact, a farmer offered us $2 per gopher, and he wanted to give us air rifles. He wanted to give us like two rifles, because in Canada they're not obviously with weapons and that. And we were like, no, I'm not going to go killing gophers. But go back to Robbie then. I could see that bloody tail. Bless his cotton sock. He's like, I'm staying with Daddy. Yeah, smell my tail. Yeah, and the thing is, if you're going to talk shit or you're going to blag about all that stuff, you know, I mean, they even mentioned they even got Saddam Hussein's first name wrong. I mean, how can you get that one of the most famous names of that era? How could you get that wrong? And let me just tell you something for you people who don't know about this. Saddam Hussein had a lot of respect for foreign militaries. He basically went to every single city that had a memorial, okay, and basically removed it brick by brick and took it out of the town and rebuilt it. Because outside Basra, there's an RAF memorial from the Second World War. And I am going to try and get some pictures. If I can find the pictures, I'm going to try and get them. I am going to remove any identifiable marks or my face and my colleagues' faces. And I'm going to show you a picture at some point. I'll try and find it. But, all right, so he was a dictator, but he had respect for the military. He did have a lot of respect for militaries. So, yeah. So if you're going to talk shit about stuff, have fun. But yeah, Mike, do you want to play that audio while I go to check out the porcelain?
I don't have the audio downloaded. What I do have is the motions, and I can start going through those.
Yeah. I'll just be right back. I just need to. I've got an H core. I need to go and check the porcelain. God, I'll be right back.
Sure. All right. So let me get these motions up. And a lot of people were sending me stuff about these motions, saying Jeremy won. These are just motions, okay? With motions, they like Bruce had to file them, and then Randy Shockett had to say no. You know, this is when you hear going through the motions. That's what this is. Literally, they have to do this to get it into the record, and that's what what Angry Vet was talking about. Yeah, that Fort Polk shirt is sold in veterannationfoundation.com. $15. $15.20, I believe, is what it said. Okay.
I'm back.
I got people texting me. So Um,
Would you like me to read it out? Give it like a British sort of voice.
I mean, we'll just. Do you want to read a section? Then I can read a section.
What section you on? Is it reporting recommendation or is it background?
Yeah, we'll start there.
Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the reading of the court document, report and recommendation. This matter is before the Court of Defendant's motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Docs 5 and 6. Plaintiff has responded in opposition, Docs 8 and 9, for the reasons below. Defendant's motion should be denied. Mike.
Plaintiff makes a living through the use of social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. According to plaintiff, his YouTube channel, What the Hales, has over 700,000 subscribers. In this lawsuit, plaintiff alleges that defendants have engaged in a public campaign to defame, extort, and threaten him. Defendant's conduct has allegedly included such things as displaying signs that refer to plaintiff. And now we're going to go to page 2. We got to find page 2. As a, quote, rapist who, quote, raped my daughter. Defendant Cook has allegedly made social media posts threatening to post pictures of him receiving oral sex from plaintiff's fiancée. Defendant Cook has allegedly pulled a gun on plaintiff and threatened him. It is further claimed that defendants made online defamatory statements about plaintiff in an effort to harm his social media business.
Oh, my turn?
Yep.
Oh, you had to leave me all that crap. Right, okay. Section 8. The complaint asserts that there is federal subject matter jurisdictions based on diversity of citizenship, brackets 28 United States, paragraph 1332, and the existence of federal questions 28 USC at 1331, Doc 1 and 2, in support of the assertion of diversity jurisdictions. Hang on a minute, I got please go and pass. Okay, they were quicker than today. Right, plaintiff claims to reside in Summit County, Ohio, while he claims defendant reside in Levy County, Florida, ID at 1 to 2. And plaintiff seeks damages of excess of $75,000, ID at 915. After being served with the complaint, the pro-se defendants filed the current motions to dismiss, Docs 5 and 6. In motions, they argue dismissal is warranted for lack of subject matter jurisdictions under rule despite. Oh, that's gone. All right, okay.
I gotta find page 3 here. Hold on. Oh, passed it. In spite of.
Oh, yeah. In this 12B1 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, more specifically, they argue that there is not complete diversity because plaintiff and defendants both reside in Florida. In support of their argument that plaintiff resides in Florida and not Ohio, defendants have provided a screenshot showing that plaintiff is registered to vote in Levy County, Florida, Doc 6 at 6. And they have submitted affidavits stating that plaintiff has been continuously living in Otter Creek. That's a lie. Florida for at least 6 months prior to the date of the affidavit, ID at 4. Defendants also argue that the $75,000 amount is controversy requirement has not been met.
Plaintiff disagrees. He argues that he is a lifelong resident of Ohio. Although plaintiff admits to owning property in Florida, he asserts that he only periodically stays in Florida and considers Ohio to be his home. In support of that argument, plaintiff has provided a copy of his Ohio driver's license, Ohio property taxes, Ohio vehicle registration papers, Ohio utility bills, federal income tax returns showing an Ohio address, an order of protection from an Ohio court preventing defendants from coming within 500 feet of defendant, and an affidavit from plaintiff swearing he resides in Ohio and intends to permanently remain there.
Discussion. Or part is it part 2 or paragraph 2?
Part 2.
All right, part 2. Discussion. Federal courts have limited subject matter jurisdictions, PTA, FLA, and all those other abbreviations, including 844F3D to 1299 13. Anyway, you can see that. There are 3 types of subject matter jurisdictions. 1, jurisdictions under the specific statutory grant. 2, federal question jurisdiction pursuant to 28 U.S. Constitution 1331, or 3, diversity jurisdictions pursuant to 28 U.S. that one. And cleaned up. The party invoked the court subject matter jurisdictions bears the burden of proving that the case falls within one of these 3 categories. McCormick versus Adelholt, 2933, blah, 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 blah. When the asserted jurisdictional basis is diversity under the blah, 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 a court must make 2 determinations. First, a court must determine if there is a controversy between citizens of different states. 28 blah, 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 blah. Second, a court must determine if the amount is controversy exceeds $75,000. Blah blah. With regards to the first determination, citizenship, not residence, in the key fact to establish diversity for a natural person. Taylor versus Appleton. 30 blah 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 blah. And citizenship is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great, you gave me the long one. Equivalent to the domicile for purposes of diversity jurisdiction. McCormick, blah, blah, blah. A person domicile is the place of his true, fixed, and permanent home and principal establishment, and to which he has the intention of returning whenever he is absent therefrom. Blah, blah, blah. Cleaned up. Because domicile is not synonymous with residence, a person may temporarily reside in one location, yet retain domicile in a previous residence. Molinos Valle del Chapio. Blah, 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 blah. A change in domicile required a concurrent showing of 1, physical presence at the new location with 2, an intention to remain there indefinitely. McCormick, blah, blah, blah. If a party believes that diversity jurisdiction is lacking, then the party may seek dismissal under Rule 12b1. Rule 12b1 motions come in 2 flavors. Oh, really? Vanilla and chocolate. Facial challenges and factual challenges. McLamery and Consul, Government of Augusta, Richmond County, blah, 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 blah. With facial challenge, the court will, in brackets, look and see if the plaintiff has sufficient alleged a basis of subject matter jurisdiction. And the alleged in the, oh my God, this is a mouthful. And the allegations in the complaint are taken as true for purposes of motion, i.e. cleaned up. On the other hand, a factual challenge attacks, in brackets, the existence of subject matter jurisdictional in fact.
No, no, there go the other way. I thought I saw 6, but I must have been confused with 16. Oh.
Am I still going it? Yeah, I am. Irrespective of the pleading and matters outside the pleading, such as testimony and affidavits, are considered cleaned up. Do I carry on, or do you want to? Or do you
I'll take it.
go? Yeah, okay, go for it.
Having laid out the applicable legal framework, it is time to apply it here. First, it is necessary to determine the type of challenge defendants have brought in their Rule 12 motion. It is a factual challenge. There is no dispute that plaintiff has facially alleged that there is a diversity of citizenship and that the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. Through their motion, defendants are challenging the factual accuracy of plaintiff's allegations. They are claiming that plaintiff is, like them, a citizen of Levy County, Florida, as opposed to Summit County, Ohio. And in support of their argument, defendants have submitted affidavits and a screenshot of plaintiff's Florida voter registration. Because defendants have offered evidence outside of the pleadings to rebut jurisdictional allegations contained therein, plaintiff must respond in kind with evidence. Example given, extrinsic evidence of such testimony and affidavits to prove by preponderance of the evidence that jurisdiction tangibly exists irrespective of the complainant's allegations.
So to just before we carry on, just to recap, so what are you saying that basically Jeremy needs to prove that his main residence is in Ohio and his temporary residence is in Florida. Am I correct in saying that?
No, it's flipped.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Lynette and Cook, because they didn't challenge it on a facial, like on its face. They instead provided proof. They were then making a factual challenge. So the burden of proof rests on them.
Right.
Explaining that the party invoking the court's jurisdiction must prove by a preponderance of the evidence facts supporting the evidence of federal jurisdiction. Plaintiff has responded in kind with evidence sufficient to show by preponderance of the evidence that he is a citizen of Ohio and not Florida. That evidence consists of his current driver's license, Ohio property taxes for 2024, a current insurance policy listing an Ohio address, a current vehicle Ohio vehicle registration, Ohio utility bills, a federal income tax return listing plaintiff's state of residence as Ohio, and a recent order of protection issued by an Ohio court listing an Ohio address for plaintiff. Additionally, plaintiff has submitted an affidavit stating that he has always had his domicile in Ohio since his birth in 1977. His affidavit further attests that he intends to keep an Ohio domicile and that Ohio is my true fixed and permanent home, and that he intends to return to Ohio whenever I'm absent therefrom. With regard to Florida, plaintiff's affidavit explains that in 2020 he purchased a non-homestead property in Florida because the weather is better in the winter. According to the affidavit, the better. Okay, we gotta go this way.
Just very quickly, a message from two dogs in regards of Travis. Skipper Travis Tubetown is on reported Julia and himself are fine, but his parents' house has a lot of water damage. His cousin is setting up a GoFundMe for Travis's parents. That's good to know.
If you get that GoFundMe, put it in the chat. The better winter weather allows plaintiff to avoid shutting down a significant part of his business during the winter months. Although the plaintiff admits that he registered to vote in Florida, he claims he never voted in any state other than Florida. According to plaintiff, he only registered to vote in Florida because one of the defendants was running for local office and plaintiff wanted to vote against her. But that defendant withdrew from the election, so plaintiff says he never voted in Florida.
Right. Yeah, I'll take it. Just before you carry on, though, actual fact, that is actually a lie because she was never on a docket. She was never on the minutes docket that has to be posted by the council, by that council, because her statement was to the fact that she was going for the council to get a seat as a councillor, and that John would then work. I don't know if he would be working. So that there is not true, and you can verify that and you can check it if you go back a couple of videos.
Yeah, she was asking if she could run.
Yeah,
I do also want to point out, because I know people are going to make a big deal of this. They're going to say, "Oh, well, he was still registered in Ohio." You can be registered to vote in multiple states. You just cannot vote in the same election in multiple states. You have to pick what state you're going to vote in, but you can be registered in multiple. In fact, that's why a lot of states refuse to purge their registration rolls, because they have people who, don't always vote in that state. So as long as you're only voting in one state, you're perfectly legal.
And something else in regards to that voting system, if people can remember, besides Laura Mott, and I know that Jeremy mentioned her, and that's by and by. However, there was also Stuart Stewart, and obviously he retracted his entry. Now, even if there was a spot or a chair, a 1 year or 2 year available, Lynette would have never got on there because one, she didn't put a Form 6 in, and two, she wasn't on the docket to be she needs to be voted in. And that never happened, but we digress. Anyway, let's carry on. Based on the information in the record, the court finds that the plaintiff has sufficiently established that that his domicile is Ohio. Although plaintiff may have purchased a residence in Florida where he resides part-time, Residency is not the same as domicile. In order for the plaintiff to have changed his domicile from Ohio to Florida, sorry, a bit of Americanese came out of me there, he would need to be physically present in Florida with an intention to remain there indefinitely. McCormick, 29, McCormick. Plaintiff disclaims any intent to remain in Florida, and his affidavit states that Ohio is his true, fixed, and permanent home, and that the place he intends to return to whenever he is gone. The documentation plaintiff has provided supports plaintiff's claim that he is domiciled in Ohio. DOS. While you get in the next page, you see, this is the problem, right? When you listen to it, okay, it's all big words and everything else. But what it's saying here is that Jeremy is registered in Ohio. That's his permanent home. His second home is in Florida. That is his temporary home. That's it. Simple. No ifs, no buts. That's it. All right. So it's just like having an RV or a caravan. You park that caravan on a camping site, okay, and you live there, say 2-3 months or 4 months, but you then go back to your home. So say like in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is your permanent domicile, and the caravan is your temporary domicile. There you go. Right, where was I? Oh yeah. Thus, the courts find that the purpose of diversity jurisdictions plaintiff is a citizen of Ohio. The defendants are citizens of Florida. Thus, there is a complete diversity between the parties. But complete diversity is not all that is needed for jurisdictions to be proper under 28 USC, blah, blah, blah. There is also the requirements that in the amount of the controversy exceeds $75,000, typically a plaintiff needs only plead an amount sufficient to satisfy the amount in controversy requirement in good faith. Fact case include Inc. Signing basis law writer LLC, whatever that, and the plaintiff's good faith statement of the amount in controversy will be second guessed only if it appears to be a legal certainty that the claim is really for less than the
Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
Jurisdictional amount. But when jurisdiction is based, where am I? When jurisdiction is based on a claim for indeterminate damages, the legal certainty test gives away, and the party seeking to invoke federal jurisdiction bears the burden of proving by preponderance of the evidence that the claim on which is based jurisdiction meets the jurisdictional minimum. Federal includes Cole and McKinnon Motors. I've heard that one somewhere before. I've heard that one somewhere before. Meeting this burden is not wondrous, as it is merely requires that the plaintiff convince the court that it is more likely than not that the pleading satisfies the jurisdictional minimum, Dibble basis average number, all that stuff. Over to you in the studio.
In this case, plaintiff's complaint does not seek a specific dollar amount of damages. Instead, it generally seeks damages that exceed $75,000. So strictly speaking, plaintiff's claim for damages is indeterminate. Because a claim for indeterminate damages is defined as a claim that includes an unspecified demand for damages, for referring to allegation that matter in controversy exceeds the sum or value of $75,000 as a claim for indeterminate damages. See also those cases. Because the complaint alleges only that the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000, the relief sought is indeterminate. Thus, the preponderance of the evidence test and not the legal certainty standard applies. A court can find the plaintiff has satisfied the preponderance standard based on the factual allegations in the complaint. See Williams v. Best Buy. Where's number 11? finding the plaintiff demonstrated the requisite amount in controversy by a preponderance when it alleged factual support for the claimed amount. Finding the plaintiff met the preponderance test because the complainant's allegations, when read broadly but plausibly, could command $75,000 or more in damages. Plaintiff's complaint and his affidavit state he is a successful social media personality who makes a living from people subscribing to his content and viewing his videos and posts. According to plaintiff, over 700,000 people have subscribed to his YouTube channel. These subscribers often pay monthly fees for premium access to plaintiff's social media content. Plaintiff claims that defendants have engaged in a coordinated and extensive campaign to defame, harass, extort, threaten, and injure him and his social media business. More specifically, plaintiff alleges defendant Cook posted a large collection of sex toys and stated plaintiff was selling them. Defendant Cook posted online, plaintiff, would you like me to post the picture of my in plaintiff's partner's mouth? You can't take this down. And
wow, I didn't see that bit.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Just a heads up, Mike. Max Lab has said that the link for Trevor's parents is somewhere above. I can't see it in chat.
Okay.
Right. Is it my turn? Right. Plaintiff further alleges that the defendants have used their defamatory statements to persuade plaintiff's customers to stop supporting his business. According to plaintiff, defendant's conduct has caused him to suffer injury and harm to his reputation, and he has incurred costs associated with his extensive efforts to mitigate against such injury and harm. And he says defendant's conduct has resulted in the loss of revenue streams and that otherwise would have remained a plaintiff, which makes sense. But yeah. In terms of relief, plaintiff seeks damages, attorney's fees, and costs, and any other relief the court may deem appropriate. Having reviewed the allegations in the plaintiff's complaint, the information provided in the plaintiff's affidavit, the court finds it is more likely than not plaintiff has satisfied the amount controversy required. Defendants have allegedly engaged in a public and I told you that, Mandy Pandy. I told you that from the get-go. All right. Coordinated campaign to ruin plaintiff's successful social media business by, among other things, repeatedly, both online and in the real world, falsely accused him of being a rapist and a child rapist. There are a few occasions that could be more harmful to a person than false accusations of others, especially children. That is particularly true when the false accused person's business and source of income are directly tied to a number of people who view, support, and subscribe to his social media content. It is not difficult to see how being falsely accused of children, along with the other defamatory statements defendants have made. It's not alleged, it's fact, they have made them, could cause plaintiffs to suffer damages in excess of $75,000. See more and all that stuff. Refusing to set aside $8.2 million defamatory jury verdict, which with the defendants falsely stated in a public advertisement that the plaintiff had solicited under awarded the plaintiff $700,000 in damages for defamation, where the defendant referred to the plaintiff such as an adult predator and like a child who had masterminded a attempted unaliving.
Nope, must have been the other way. Additionally, plaintiff has brought the claim under Florida Civil Remedies for Criminal Practices Act based on defendant's alleged acts of extortion. If plaintiff prevails on that claim, he may receive treble damages. See Florida. Courts should consider the availability of treble damages when deciding if the amount in controversy requirement has been met. See Ellis v. Warner. Considering the availability of treble damages when deciding if the amount in controversy was satisfied, also see Barson v. Shar. The court must include any alleged treble damages available under Florida law in calculating the amount in controversy. Plaintiff has also sought attorney's fees under Florida's Civil Remedies for Criminal Practices Act. The act provides that a successful plaintiff may receive reasonable attorney's fees, Florida statute, and the 11th Court has stated that when a statute authorizes the recovery of attorney's fees, a reasonable amount of those fees is included in the amount in controversy. Thus, the court may include a
dildo. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that came out. I'm sorry.
past it. A reasonable amount of plaintiff's attorney's fees in deciding whether the amount in controversy has been met here. When the possible actual damages are combined with the possible treble damages and the possible reasonable attorney's fees, the court easily finds it is more likely than not that the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. I'm not going to get in the footnote here. Oh, 16. There we go.
Yay, my turn. All right, conclusion. For the reasons above, it is respectively recommended that 1. Defendant's motion to dismiss Doc 5-6 be denied, and 2. This case be recommended to the undersigned for further proceedings at Pensacola, Florida, this 26th day of August 2024. Zachary C. Belito, United States Magistrate Judge. Yeah. Well, we got through that quick.
And so that was the motion. It has been denied, but because it goes in front of a magistrate first. So normally the magistrate is a retired federal judge who still gets paid just to look through things, so that the judge isn't overburdened. They give a recommendation, and the judge has chosen to accept that recommendation to deny the motion. It's just a motion, people. It is just a motion. It means this suit is not going to be, it's not going to be dismissed, is all that means. It's people saying, oh, this is a win. It's really not a win. It's just this case is just going to go forward. That's what it means. But Bruce had to put this into the record because if they lose and if they appeal, if there's some reason that, if they find some other evidence or anything that was previously denied, they can then refer to that motion and say, no, this needs to be either reopened or the verdict set aside because of these reasons. That's why that motion is in place. It is really not a huge win. It's just a motion. And everyone's sending it to me saying, Jeremy won. It's just a motion.
No.
It means the trial is going to continue.
Yeah, and on top of what Mike was saying, I just saw. I'm going to come back to that comment that DK Lucas One put in there in regards of it makes other YouTubers look bad. Anyway, one thing you have to take into consideration is this is now the second motion that I know of that has been rejected or dismissed. Right, that means. That means it's going to be a very interesting court case, to say the least. Not just on evidential type of information, but also on both defendant and plaintiff. They have to prove that their side is correct. Now, the problem is what a lot of people seem to forget is that every video that Jeremy makes, okay, he has a team of lawyers, or he has a legal team that advises him what to say and what not to say. That's why when you watch Jeremy explain stuff, he's always got the paperwork at hand. He's always very careful what he says. And he always makes factual based, true, and with evidence comments.
And with all of these motions, and you heard that in there's things that can be taken factually, things that need to be taken facially, things that take a reasonable person standard. There are things that take a preponderance of the evidence. So there's, with every motion, depending on what's being argued about, there's a different sliding scale of what determines if it's going to be accepted or denied. So, unless if you're an attorney or someone who's really researched those things, most people are not going to, there are times where you can just give frivolous motions, but the court has to rule on them. And when I say frivolous, and I'm only using that word because it was put in there, but motions that you know are going to be denied, you have to still do those things because it can determine if this goes to trial, how that trial becomes, how it is executed. Because someone might want to say, well, we want to give this defense or we want to make this argument. No. Remember, you submitted that motion before and you argued this way. Now you're trying to change it. Those type of things come into play. And so people who are like, yeah, this is a win, it's like, it's not really a win. It's just going to determine how things are going forward. And I see we've got Secret Squirrel in here now.
Something else. Hi, Hi, Squirrel. How you doing? But just quickly before we carry on, right? There's one thing that I found very interesting. I watched Megan Fox, not that one, but the other Megan Fox, and that chap. I can't remember the guy, Legal Vices, or whatever his name is. They were showing the non-redacted or the redacted version of the court case between Silver Scam and everything else. But when they anyway, what I found quite interesting is that Silver Scam was very assertive in his behavior. He was very, I'm this and this, and he even made absolutely clear on the record, and he directly spoke to Lynette on the record about dropping that case. So there was more to say, or there was definitely something going on after they came back in. Okay, so and I think that in one way or the other, I don't think Silverman or Silver Scam wanted to represent her. I think this is bigger than, yeah. And to be perfectly honest with you, I had a funny feeling that was going to happen anyway. So
That's a good example for this. Go ahead, Squirrel.
I'm making sure my mic's working because apparently it wasn't.
Yeah, she had gotten a temporary injunction. Again, that wasn't a loss. It was just a temporary thing. It did cause Jeremy to lose rights for a temporary amount of time, but that was not really a win. And people need to not get so wrapped up about these court things, because until there's a final judgment, it's not a win or lose. And sometimes when you win on a motion, it can cause you to lose later because it'll it determines how things are going forward. And if you've set yourself in, no, this is what the thing is, and the judge determines it's not, and then you try to argue something else, that can no, you already made a motion. This is the path you went down. You chose that.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Just to clarify something. Now, when Jeremy was when he had his constitutional rights taken away from him, and obviously I think it was for about 7 or 9 months. I can't really remember. Isn't there, if he goes to a civil rights attorney and makes a motion in regards of the court taking away his first and his second constitutional right, or his second, let's just say both, and he goes to a civil rights attorney and then puts in a complaint there, would that cause a lot of sort of political unrest in Levy County or in Florida?
Not so much political unrest. Here's the thing: he can do a civil rights lawsuit. He can absolutely do that if he wanted to. The problem is it's a very tall order. The civil rights lawyer, who's a guy on YouTube that I follow, he has a case of a divorce attorney who told the whole court, we're going to this guy's house and we're going to go through his house and determine what we're going to give his wife. That was a huge breach of the court's powers, but it was a very tall order, and it took years of going through courts to remove the judicial immunity. So even though even though he's been recused or removed from the case and he's had to recuse himself on other stuff, trying to get a civil rights lawsuit on that, I don't want to say it's impossible. It's just, it's going to be very hard and very expensive if Jeremy wants to go down that that path.
Yeah, that rabbit hole. Yeah, yeah. Right. Thanks very much for that response.
Jeremy's more worried about going after all the ones talking about him than doing the civil rights stuff.
I mean, the thing is, Squirrel, the thing is, one thing I've learned about this whole thing, right? People can say, you know, under the First Amendment in the States, they can say what they like as long as it's not hateful or inciting, you know, violence and stuff like that. But it's people who are actually spreading disinformation and actually fabricating lies or making accusations, you know, frivolous accusations. So
Well, you can lie. It's protected to lie. The problem is if it extends into defamation, where your lie, it has to be a known lie, it has to cause damage, and it has to be done maliciously. That's the thing. And you know, like Jeremy going after people talking to him, he can go. The thing is, like, just because people are talking about you doesn't mean you can go after them. You have to show that you have some type of damages.
Which Jeremy definitely has a case against.
Well, that's why I've said, especially now that they've done the Olight stuff, he can show tortious interference on a lot of these other channels and stuff. It has crossed across defamation, tortious interference. He's arguing extortion because it's really just an easier thing to argue in the court.
I think, I mean, from history and reading other court cases that he's been involved in, multiple court cases that he's been involved in over the few years, it's always been the same with that. It's always been exactly that.
And it's also easier when you have people that have already been found guilty of other stuff. So right now, Lynette and John have been found guilty in Ohio of cyberstalking and then guilty of contempt of court. So
one thing, certain channel, I'm not going to say their name because I'm not going to give them any promotion at all, has actually admitted they were the ones that emailed Olight. Yeah. They admitted it right on their stream. Like, how dumb can you guys get? You guys are giving Jeremy evidence to use against you guys.
And so here's what's funny about that.
Is my microphone too loud, everyone?
No,
if so, I can turn it down.
No, you're good.
What's funny about that is, yeah, they are posting evidence, but you have, you've got a couple things that you have people involved in that who have already been prosecuted. You got people in that who've gotten deferred prosecutions, which means that prosecutor could be like, okay, well, if you want to engage in this conduct, guess what? I can bring those charges back and take you into court. Like, they're posting this stuff like very publicly, and saying it's not against the law. Well, again, civil court is totally different legal standard, and they have an attorney there. Okay, they've got an attorney right there who should be saying, hey, take this stuff down. But instead, he's letting them stick their neck out. They're going to be the ones who are held accountable, while he says, well, I was just on the podcast. I wasn't a part of that. I was just sitting there listening.
Just very quickly, I just seen from Mandy Pandy. Let me just see if I can find that comment again. Mandy Pandy stated, Spawn, Lynette put her name down for the seat before this new election when Madam Mayor ran. Yeah, I get that, but the thing is, when the Form 6 came out and Lynette filled it out, if she did fill it out, I think there was a point where she did fill it out, or I can't remember. But at that time, she did run.
She got the paperwork, but didn't submit it.
Yes.
Mike, check. There was another document that was posted yesterday.
That was just the judge denying it.
Yeah, the actual judge did deny it. So it's official.
Yeah, but just going back to that comment, the fact of the matter is this: when she turned up at that at the town hall, right? Let's keep the facts straight. When she turned up at that town hall, okay, she used false information to be there. Okay, she shouldn't have been there, right? Because her name was not on the docket. If you go back and you go, you can even email Belinda and get a copy of the minutes for that meeting. You do not see Lynette or John Cook's name on that docket. If their names would have been on that docket, they'd have been justified to be there, but it was not on there. So therefore, they lied for the reason of being there, and they lied to a peace officer. So the fact of the matter is, it's irrelevant if she put a name forward, whatever. If her name was not on that docket for that night's what do you call it, swearing in of council members, swearing in, or anything else, then she was lying. As simple as that. But going back to these motions now, from history, Bruce has a habit of putting these type of motions in, and I'm not surprised. That's why I'm not surprised when I saw it.
He has to put in these type of motions.
Yeah, I know, but he like the thing is, it's like the wording and the wording that he's using.
Okay. What he does, he uses very accusatory language in his motions. And we saw that in the other case against all the people who came on to get Lloyd's trailer. He uses very accusatory language, which again, he can do that. I don't think it's necessarily smart. I don't think it ever wins over judges because I've seen people do that, and really, it kind of annoys some judges because they have to remain impartial. And like a judge, like grudge judge, probably he would want all that prejudicial language in there. But for a lot of judges I've seen, like they won't scold the attorney publicly, but in chambers, I do know they'll be like, look, I understand what you're saying. Knock it the hell off.
I mean, that judge who, from what I watched last night with Megan. I do apologize for pronouncing your name. It's the Americanese. I need to get that right. Americanese is quite hard for me. But anyway, when I watched that, I saw that judge and I thought, holy shit, day and night, the difference in like, he spent like a minute, he went, done. And I was like, why wasn't he doing I mean, like Jeremy saying, I've got 24 hours to finish this. All right, when like Jeremy stated in his video and said that the whole Levy County or the whole that county, right, Judge Grudge, right, deals with those court cases. But the thing is, if any of the guys who are being sued or on the paperwork, he has to excuse himself because it's in relation with entail with him. Now that judge that I saw last night, I hope he is going to be sitting on this case when it goes. No,
this is a federal case.
Oh, right. Okay, I'll shut up then.
So there'll be no video. Federal courts are very anti-video. Now they will allow audio sometimes, but they're not always in favor of video.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I just saw Sarge. Hey, Sarge, listen, mate. yeah, it's called Americanese, all right, and I'm sticking to that. American language is awesome.
I think Jeremy is requesting that it be on video.
Well, I mean, he can request, but federal courts are not. They're not often inclined to allow for video. That's why, whenever you see appellate court stuff, it's always audio. Whenever you see the Supreme Court, it's always audio. It's just the federal courts. They haven't embraced video often.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from listening. I mean, I like law. I like to know the law. But boy, ever since I've been following this, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about American law, about your Constitution, about your rights and about, and I'm glad that there's other lawyers out there. I'm glad there's people like Megan, and Tug who actually explain things and or you when you explain stuff. Because it's absolutely mind-boggling that you've got an attorney who's 20 plus years in as a lawyer behaving the way he's behaving, and then you've got other lawyers. Have you heard what's his name? Socket, Mr. Socket, Socket. Yeah, I haven't seen him once make any comment online, on Facebook, or on videos. I haven't seen him sitting on YouTube flapping his gums. I haven't heard a peep from that guy. He's a ninja.
Yeah.
And I actually think he's a pretty good lawyer. I actually think that about Sean Martin as well. I think they both did a pretty good job representing John Lynette. John Lynette, however, are probably unhappy with them because he didn't give them free reign, which is what they really want. And so that's I'm not getting too wrapped up about any of these motions. The cases and this constantly filing of new cases, it's just incredibly litigious, and I don't think it's a smart strategy, to be honest.
Really?
I think it's only going to hurt in the federal case.
Yes.
Now, one thing, in regards of trying to take the umbrella guy, Megan Fox, I believe it's George and Rattis. Is it DJ Rattis? They're suing them. Now, me personally, I think this is my personal opinion. I think the same thing is going to happen to that's happened to the last two motions. That's my guess. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking both of these new cases are going to get thrown out. They won't go before the judge. Once Judge Dave, I think it's Dave Davis, reads the thumbnail case and actually goes over it, Judge Davis is going to throw that case out before it even hits the courtroom. Literally, Judge Davis made it clear, I do not want to see you back in this courtroom again.
We'll see. You never know. With some of these courts, until you understand the judge or you understand the court, it's hard to make predictions. Once you've seen enough from the judge or from the court on these issues, then that's when you can really get a prediction. I'm not going to predict what Judge Davis will do at this point.
From what I saw last night, the way he conducted himself, and if I had an ongoing court case like what's going on now, and I had to be in front of him, I would be very careful, and I would think twice before I opened my mouth, because I think he's the type of person to drag those two lawyers into his chambers and go.
I want to address this. I have spoken to Mark Feather. I have asked him to come on this show, and he has said, I'm not going to come on. There's active stuff going on, and I am not going to publicly come on your show and talk about it. And I said, that's completely fair. That is your right. But that's how I know, Mark Feather's a pretty good attorney. And that's a really good way for me to test that.
Yeah. And that just shows you the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between a professional attorney and a non-professional attorney.
I've had plenty of attorneys. I've had Ron Coleman, who was Trump's attorney. He's been on this show before, and he said, "I'm not going to." Before we started, he's like, "I'm not going to get into any of my current cases. I'm not going to talk. I'll talk very limited about my past cases. But if you want to talk about other people's cases, fair game. Same as I have had lawyers on to talk about their specific cases, but before I brought them on, they were like, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to talk about this. Like they gave me limitations and said, if you can't agree to this, I'm not coming on the show. And I was like, I totally get it. And, you know, because we're agreeing to it now, I'm not going to do that. But an attorney just sending me things and then telling me, don't post this publicly. No, I've not agreed to that. You can threaten me and tell me what to do all day long. I don't have to do whatever you say.
Yeah. And I think once the federal court finds out about what Bruce is doing online, it's not going to look good for Bruce at all.
Yeah.
I don't think the federal court. What'll be interesting is if the Massachusetts bar finds out that he's using them to get around talking about his standing in Connecticut.
Yeah, which I kind of heard over the grapevine that it's possible he's been reported to Massachusetts bar and Connecticut for what he's doing.
I can tell you that I've sent an email, and I'm quite happy to say that. But there's one thing I want to say before we carry on with this, because I totally forgot to mention this, Mike, if I may.
One thing I want to say, I have not made any bar complaints. I have not contacted any bar associations. And those of you who want me to, I will not be. And that was under advice of my attorney.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, okay, and by the way, I haven't contacted them. I'm not that dumb, because contacting them from the United Kingdom, I would have to then get my attorney to do it. Anyway, I love throwing red herrings. But there's one thing I want to say. Now, I'm fully aware that there's a total change of topic very quickly. I know that there's been a severe storm over in the States and Florida and up in North Florida. And unfortunately, a lot of people, over 44 people have been unalived by this storm. Okay, so regardless of what your opinion is about this story, about the news broadcast and everything else, put that to one side at the moment, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. Okay, and this storm has caused a lot of bad stuff. So, let's just send our wishes and condolences to the people who've been unalive and their families. And let's hope that everyone is safe after the storm. Buildings and that can be repaired, but obviously, lives matter, okay? So I just want to say that. So until everything's done with that storm, I'm marking time. Just want to make that.
I'm putting this up. Myself and Elsa Kirk, we've talked about doing some type of collaboration. So I might be going on her show, her coming on mine, or us doing something jointly. She does really have a good show. So if any of you guys follow her, let her know that you're in favor of us doing something together. We've been discussing it. We just got to work out the details. Same with the expert. Me and the expert, we've traded emails, and we're going to try to do something together. So that'll be fun.
So what does she do? What is she? Oh, she's a comedian, conservative comedian content. Okay,
yeah, she just does a show on X. But I see we got a lot of people watching right now on X.
And we're talking about the hurricane. Guys, it's saddening to say, but one of Willis's family members has actually lost their home in the hurricane. And Willis now has a GoFundMe out there to raise money to help get family back.
His cousin started it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, I am a type of person. If I don't like certain people in this whole thing, okay, and I am trying to get the truth out of them, I will do everything in my power to do that. All right, and I've done it. I've got under Bruce's skin. But the thing is, if Bruce lived on that west coast of Florida and that storm was going over his house, I would back off, because at the end of the day, he is a human being.
Remember, call him Bubbles, not his real name.
Oh, right, yeah, whatever, bubbles, plum, dickhead, and I'm not, yeah, right. At the end of the day, when it comes to human life, okay, I have to draw a line, right, and I'm not going to have any ill will towards anyone when it comes to storm, because you guys have a lot of storms over there, and a lot of people unfortunately get unalived by these storms, and I have to say that I will not challenge anybody, especially in a situation like that. So I just want to make that clear. And that's why I've been quiet so far. But one thing I can say, Robbie, yeah, go and watch the video. And Mr. Stark, it'll be your turn next. Just saying.
And I want to remind everyone, this channel is copyright protected. Do not go recording this, changing the video, or anything. If you do, you will get copyright strikes.
Yep. I don't know how many times we can explain that to people, and then they get mad when they get a copyright strike. It's like, we told you. We told you.
What did Sergeant Mitch say? Skip, I actually have an idea for
Got an idea. So I put that up because you can always email me at veterannation at protonmail.com. You can DM me on any of my social media. I do try to keep up on all that. Or you can contact us. You can call or you can text us at bald 951 vet. Bald 951 vet.
There's funny you say ideas. I have like, it's really weird because obviously I was working on my car as well. I usually have a crash bag in my vehicle. I don't know if people, military personnel or vets will understand what I mean with about a snatch bag or a crash bag. Right? It's basically it's a bag.
We would call it a go bag.
Okay, a go bag. My apologies. All right. Let's use go bag. And I always have a go bag in my vehicle, and I have at least 24 hours or 48 hours worth of rations. Right? They last a long time. That's MREs. And I have like certain lights, first aid gear, and everything else in there. I'm going to try and get some pictures together. I'm going to try and make a little video for Mike, and then I will actually walk and talk through that, and then basically give it to Mike an idea, and then maybe I know there's a lot of these go bags out there, but this is specifically for like, you know, in the winter or in the storms, because sometimes you'll come in, like I've seen the footage where people come across buildings and suddenly they find someone trapped in that building, or they find an animal trapped there, or both. And you need a certain type of equipment, like rope, strong climbing rope, and different first aid gear, and then, you know, to put in your vehicle so you can get that person out of there, like neck supports and braces and stuff. And you can get this stuff. So I'll sort that out, and then I'll get to you, Mike, and we'll talk privately about that. But I just thought I'd mention that as well.
So there's things talking about the Mark Feather in the chat, and, you know, him speaking. The case has changed. Okay, I want everyone to know that Mark Feather left the case in December of 2023. That was the injunction case. Since then, it's changed. There's been obviously the judge's recusal. There's now a federal case, so that's why it has changed, and that's why you're not going to see him commenting. It's this stuff is ongoing and changing by the day.
Yes.
There was something else I thought I wanted to address. I don't know.
Oh, about GoFundMe's, a certain new GoFundMe that a certain person started got shut down right away.
There were people saying that was because of a court order. I've never seen a court order. I've never heard about a court order. Don't know. But it's funny because all these things, they get posted. People like Spawn Trooper look into it, and they realize, oh, we had a problem. Then all of a sudden they get taken down, and then they're put back up again. I just find that amusing. I find it very amusing.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Nature call. What did I miss?
Oh, we were just talking about the new GoFundMe.
Oh,
There was
just
something somebody posted about FEMA.
my
Roy Lazinger, I think. I'm
Lunzinger.
predicting that a certain someone tries to scam FEMA for funding to complete their unfinished farmhouse. Yeah, that's not going to work. They won't be able to do that whatsoever because it's not a finished house.
I mean, oh God! Actual fact, and I shouldn't say this, but I can't resist. Maybe that storm, that hurricane, actually cleaned the place up. But anyway, but here's the thing. Okay, now with the last GoFundMe taken down by the fundraiser, it tells me that it's only a matter of time where GoFundMe will have to legally say no. There's too much going on here. There's too many complaints coming in. And the thing is, I know there's people out there who are very vindictive, who say that, they care, but they deliberately go out their way and, go and make a complaint. And it's like a frivolous complaint. But at the end of the day, the amount of GoFundMes I have seen on this individual who uses, and this is what I can't understand. You make a GoFundMe and you put a picture up of yourself and a child. But on the other breath, you say you don't want your child recorded or filmed. But here you are putting that child into public eye on a public domain. And
Right.
it doesn't make any sense.
And again, that's why I'm saying people need to stop freaking out about these motions, because when they do stuff like that, you can't say one thing and then act another and then hold everyone else accountable. So like for the likeness case, you see what I'm saying? Like they keep doing all these, they keep undermining their own argument.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thing and it's like, okay, let's just I'm gonna use like there's 44 families who've lost loved ones, irregardless of male, female, whatever. 44 people have lost their loved ones. If we get those 44 people, those 44 families to make a GoFundMe, I would rather put a donation.
I'm gonna this real quick. When the GoFundMe was set up, nobody knew anything about Wes. No one knew he was a scammer when it was set up.
Yeah, no one knew nothing.
Yeah, and when MaxLab, I do know, has contacted GoFundMe about Wes scamming and tried to get the money back for people. So don't attack MaxLab over that. His heart was in the right place. My whole thing about all this is why you don't see me jumping on these other people like Ray Bone Crusher. A lot of people very early on were like, oh yeah, Ray Bone Crusher, but you see he's now attacking Jeremy. He's even come after me. I rarely ever talk about that guy. I really have no interest in it, but you didn't see me out there. Like when someone proves themselves, that's when I'm going to be like, yeah, that support that guy. And Jeremy knows that because he's been burned so many times by grifters coming in, trying to act like they're all, and I had seen where Bone Crusher had said negative things about Jeremy before, what was that, February, where he was like all on Jeremy's side again. So that's why I never told people, oh, go subscribe to him, go watch his stuff. You never saw that out of me because I didn't know if he could be trusted. Same thing with Wes. Didn't know if he could be trusted. You didn't see me out there saying, oh yeah, give to Wes on his GoFundMe. You gotta be very careful about people, because when there's stuff like this, people love to sweep in and try to steer it in a way that personally benefits them.
Talking about GoFundMe, it's the creator. Okay, when it's a fundraiser created for somebody else and the creator makes the fundraiser, it does not rely on the creator whatsoever. It falls back on the one that's actually receiving the money, and it takes a while. When a situation like that is reported, it takes quite some time to figure out how to get the money back in that.
Yeah.
So,
And
that's
here's
it's not an easy thing to get fixed whatsoever.
yeah,
And it
and here's
doesn't rely on the creator at all.
and here's one thing I want to point out. First of all, Jen, hi, sweetness. Hi, how you doing? I hope you're laying back and listening to this on your TV. Optimus Prime. Autobots, roll out. Right, here's a quick one for you. Now, when obviously, when they put you up, and it's all making sense now, what they've actually done, they've put you in a firing line.
Eventually, two awesome dogs.
Right. They've put you in a firing line. Now, here's one thing I want to say. At the end of the day, we've already caught them lying about the last GoFundMe, which I challenged Bubbles on. Okay, that's done. The fact of the matter is that when you put a GoFundMe, the GoFundMe is to support you, travel or whatever, not to fix your car.
David, that is not true.
Or
They were joking.
Here's the thing: she doesn't need a privacy fence. She needs a therapist. She doesn't need an attorney. She needs a therapist.
Yes, and Megan Fox and Tug, they were joking about that the whole time. They were just saying that just so people would shut up. That's all they were doing.
At the end of the day, okay, I'm gonna respond to, where are you, Brian?
David.
Sorry, David. Oh, where
Rickards.
Yeah, David Rickards, like Megan Fox and Rug are donated. No, that's absolutely codswallop. And at the end of the day, okay.
Hey, if you want to subscribe to Bone Crusher, subscribe to it. I don't care one way or another.
Yeah, please don't say if you unsubscribe to channels. Please do not say that in the chat.
Right. This is where I take off my gloves, and this is where I actually say what I'm going to say. You guys need to stop listening and believing everything you hear. At the end of the day, all right, if people want to talk codswallop and bollocks on other streams about privacy fences and anything like that, you need to look at the bigger picture. There is a person who continuously puts up GoFundMes or monetary requests on different platforms, okay? But the thing is, not once have I seen any receipts, any proof that that money is going to where it is being stated it's going.
Yep.
Furthermore, I haven't seen or heard or have nothing about the turtles or the tortoises.
And from my understanding, her 501c3 is now shut down. She never reapplied and has lost her status as a 501c3.
Right, but that as far as I'm concerned, right now, that is beside the point. The fact of the matter is that you've got someone who is on SSI, who is receiving state benefits.
Sean Martin didn't really have any choice. He didn't have many avenues to defend her.
Right, and then you've got people going around spending all this deflection and subterfuge about this and that and that. Here's the fact that people still again forget. She is saying one thing, but putting a picture up of that child. Okay, yeah. And people are forgetting about the child. That it's all about the court case and bubbles and everything else.
Don't take a picture of my child. Don't take a picture of my child. Give me money. Here's a picture of my child.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if I turn around, all right, and said to Squirrel, okay, I want you to do this, and I want you to do that, and I want you to do this, all right, whatever, right? It's entirely up to him if he does or not. Now, when you've got a woman who,
what she's talking about, by the way, no one controls me in what I do.
I
want when I want.
No, don't. What I'm trying to say is, if you look at the history of these GoFundMes, you will see media pictures from a newspaper. You will see pictures with other children in these pictures. You will see a picture of her and the child. But the continuously states, don't take pictures of my child. Don't record this. Don't do this. Don't do that. But she then goes public and puts that child into the public eye. And the legal system is not doing something about this.
Well, it undermines her case, is what it does. Yeah, when like her trying to sue about, them coming onto the property and using, Harley Grace as the beans for that, it just undermines it.
Boy.
'Cause in the videos, which would be used as evidence, she's like, "Don't take a picture of my child." She says in her court filing, "They came to get pictures of me and my child." Well, you're posting pictures of your child, so is it really a matter for the court's attention?
Roy Lonsinger, the privacy fence issue is going to be a huge problem because it's too tall for the ordinances. She has to have a special permit to get that privacy fence put up.
She doesn't have good electrical or plumbing, and they're trying to get her a privacy fence. She does not need a privacy fence. Get her a plumber. Why don't? And I did see someone out there said, right here, Star put this. Why are none of her supporters offering to go and help?
Yeah,
probably because they'll be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, look at Russ Meeks. He knows of someone who, I mean, he must know someone who does electrics or plumbing. I mean, like, I would rather see a person.
Wait, Russell was a plumber.
Hang on a minute. So we don't get confused here. All it takes is, instead of people going, "Oh, let's do this for Christmas, let's do this, let's do that," why not contact someone in that town who is qualified on plumbing or electrician and say, "Hey, Lynette, so-and-so is coming to your property. They're going to check your electrics. They're going to check your plumbing, not your physical plumbing, but the plumbing in the ground. And what they're going to do, they're going to have a check, and then we're going to see how much it costs. And then what we are going to do, we will put up a GoFundMe for us to get the financial support to then get the parts and everything, and then we'll come back and we'll set it up for you." None of that's happened from any of these people who say they support her. Now, I find it so surreal. It's like me turning around to Mike, say, "Hey, Mike, I'm going to send you a soundboard. Here's a picture." You know what I mean? That's how stupid it is. It's the thing is, right? Like, if you're going to help her, stop flapping your gums, get in your car, get on a plane, fly down there, book into a hotel, go to Walmart, go to Home Base, or go to whatever building
These
place
are
you
my
go.
channel comments, and I'm replying to this one just because it's a YouTuber. MLS said, "Just want to let you know that it's unlawful," because this was about an adoption. I was asking about the adoption paperwork. "It's unlawful under Florida law to share any of that information. So even if Bruce wanted to and thought he would be able to at one point, it's my understanding that it would be a violation of the law to disseminate that information." Well, he did share it with me. So you're saying he broke the law? Because Bruce did email me that information, and he tried to tell me, "Don't post this." Well, I never agreed to that. So yeah, I have posted that information because I didn't break any laws.
Yeah.
I can post whatever I want. If someone's going to send me something, communicate with me, you send me a text, I can post that text. It is now my text. Unless if I agree with you beforehand, you probably shouldn't send me anything.
Yep.
Oh, David Richards says that she has plumbing. Right. Well, if she's got plumbing, explain this one thing to me. Why does she use le bucket pouper?
No, they've got a septic tank, and they empty the trailer into the septic tank. So that's what they have. That is not plumbing.
No. Jackie Dean She don't care about permits. She lives in a shed. Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing. Otter Creek is in the works or getting somebody for permits in that.
Hey, Palmer.
So here soon, she's going to be screwed. She's going to have the permits.
Wait a minute. She's got a septic tank.
Yes.
I've never heard of this. This is the first time I've heard of it.
I forget how much she's $5,000 or $25,000 septic tank, something like that.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Septic tanks need to be emptied every period, I think every couple of months.
No, they don't. No.
Oh, is it one of those? Is it one of those biodegradable ones?
No. What? Okay. The way the septic tanks in the U.S. work is it'll be a very big tank, and everything goes in there, and then the solid waste sinks to the bottom, and the liquid waste separates, and because urine and stuff has bacteria and whatnot in it, the water separates from the uric acid and then floats on the top part, and that goes out in a leach line, and that leach line goes to another part, and it'll be like, a couple feet under the ground, but then the water slowly leaks out underground, and kind of dissipates. So that's a way for that stuff. Now, it's true that a septic tank with the solid waste can fill up, but a lot of people don't understand, because I've got a septic tank here. A lot of people don't understand, like, when they bring out workers who are nefarious and they open the septic tank and the water's up to the top, and they'll be like, oh, see, yeah, it's full. No, it's not full. The water is supposed to be at the top.
Right.
If you had solid waste up at the top, that's when it's full. But yeah, septic tanks are actually kind of built that you should only need to empty them, depending on how much their use is, about once a decade.
Wow. Okay. Now,
From what I understand, the camper is parked over the top of the septic tank.
Yeah, and
I don't see, there's no leach field there.
So the septic tank underground will have a piece of PVC pipe that goes, 5, 10, or 15 feet in one direction. Yeah. And that's where the leach field will go.
Which that makes me think where the turtles are is the leach field then.
Probably is, but again, it's underground, so it's not like there's pee going all over their property.
Yeah. Right. Here's another question.
If they dig, that's when you're running into that what we would call non-potable water.
Right. Okay. So here's another question then. Right. Say for argument's sake, hypothetically speaking, because I can do electrics and I can do plumbing. Like, if, say for example, I turned up there and I've seen the video from when they got the RV, and I've had a look at the property, and also when they removed that first RV from that lady who was there. Anyway, now looking at that property and having that shed, that garage, that horse shed built, the red one when they dragged out the shelves and everything. Now, what I can't understand, I've seen multiple. You Americans are quite clever, actually, when it comes to this. You build these big halls or you big sheds, and then you build in like a little home inside it. So why aren't they building like some like an indoor house inside that shed, building rooms and everything else? And then sort of like cleaning up that property, and at least they will be in a property with electric, with water, and they can buy camping toilets that use power to cut up the stall, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. None of this about that property makes any sense to me. It just doesn't. And thanks very much for the explanation about the septic tank and the leach farm.
I don't know when the septic tank was put in. I would imagine when they first got the property, that would be the smart thing. But again, they don't always do things the smart way.
I never heard of them putting it in. I think it was already there.
Just to address everyone, it really, for when a septic tank needs to be pumped, really depends upon how much it's being used. Now, you saw I put up the thing of the wastewater, the solid waste in Afghanistan. there's actually formulas for this thing. You need to know how many people are using it, how many gallons are going in, type of thing, and you can figure all that stuff out. So then you can factor it in, so that you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, look at the poo pond in Bastion.
For me in my house, there's 2 people here. The chances of me needing to empty my septic tank in 2 years is very, very low.
I mean, look at the poo pond in Bastion. That was the size of that bloody Otter Creek. Yeah, I mean, they literally they had these trucks that spray out, you know, the ones that you use to clean roads, and they spray out water. Well, they had those over there, and they literally just parked right next to that pond and just shot that stuff in there. You know, but again, it just doesn't make sense why, instead of all this bullshittery, you know, why don't...
Oh, we got a troll in here, Kathy Wallace.
Don't worry about it. Let them, you know, they need sunshine as well.
The water level. Okay, I'm going to address this one because, again, it's something I know about. Being that there's a low water table there actually does help the fact that there's a leach field, because it means that that non-potable water is going to mix with the rainwater that is very high up. So it actually makes the leach field a little bit cleaner.
Oh, didn't think of that. Yeah, I didn't think of that. But, like, here's a question that you ask yourself. Why isn't anyone in Otter Creek who know about their situation, why isn't anyone going around there? Think about that and helping them. Think about that one.
Exactly. She has an overground mount where her septic is located. The septic's down low. There's just an access point that's up high. That's how they are.
Basically, like what a campground has is like what she has.
For me, I actually have a trench that's already dug for me to access mine. But there's an access point that sticks up because I've got my RV next to the thing. And if I have guests, then we drain the RV that way. Because it's not plumbed into my septic tank. But the septic tank is for me, mine is about 4 feet down, I believe. But I've got a part that sticks up that I can empty in.
50 years. Wait a minute. If it was already there 50 years ago.
I mean,
really?
That's possible. There are some septic tanks that go a long, long time, depending on what they're made out of, how they're set up. I mean, wow, I know the one on Tube Town was that old.
Yeah. Oh, he actually showed that as well, didn't he? That was a bloody big septic tank. That was huge. That bloody thing was. That wasn't a small one. But yeah, I mean, that's the question you guys should ask yourself. Why isn't anyone in Otter Creek going up and say, hey, let's help you out with your water line or your electrics and that? That's one question. So why is Russell Meeks and people like him not go? No, they go around there to get a bit of clout, but why aren't they saying, hey, look, Lynette, we're going to come around tomorrow. We're going to sort out your your power line, so you don't trip over, or if there's, wait a minute, they tried.
Oh, wait.
She left expecting them to do all the work. Well, like if I went around Mike, like, okay, I'm going to use this. If Mike said, oh, I need some help with my electrics, right? And I've got basic training in electrics. I'll say, right, Mike, I'm going to come around. I'm not going to turn around and then dig a trench, put the cables in, put the warning tape over it, and then leave. I'm not going to do a half-assed job and leave. At the end of the day, if I go around there, he's going to expect me to complete that job.
Wait, Russ,
I don't know if
Russell
that's
is
what she's discussing here is potentially embezzlement, because fraud absolutely applies. I just don't know. I'd have to look at the situation. Sorry,
Russell is a so-called plumber, supposed to be licensed plumber in that, but yet he screwed up the whole water plant for Otter Creek.
Oh,
the reason Otter Creek don't have good water is because of Russell.
Actual fact, you know what? You've got a good point there, because as soon as I don't know about Madam Mayor, because obviously I was a bit confused of what was going on there, and Madam Mayor did try to, address the water issue there, but the thing is, I think Sim took that and then carried it on, and then started getting physically involved. And the amount of times he turned around, he said, "Hey, I'm doing a workshop on this and this and this. I'll take you into the water pump house. I'll show you what's going on, what the damages is, what we need to do to fix it or remedy it, and stuff like that." And no one was interested. And the people who were interested were people who were at the meetings, and like every single one of them tried so much to get the whole community involved in this. And Russell Meeks was like invited multiple times. He refused to go or came out with an excuse. This is the listen and pay attention, people. You've got people now on that board, and prior, and where Madam Mayor was running it as well. The minute Madam Mayor became the mayor, everything started slowly getting better. Things started getting done properly.
Yep.
And now that you've got a good council on there, that's not about themselves, but it's about Otter Creek, you're noticing that things are getting better and better and better. So maybe at some point,
Jeremy is using well water now. He's not using the city water right now, except for a certain couple things. He's using city water, but he's mainly using well water.
Oh, Heather, interesting. What about the 1.4 million for the internet?
Wrapping up, guys, because we're coming up on 3 hours, and I've got stuff I got. I'm leaving town today.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're going on a run. Are you going to become a fugitive because Bubbles is going to try and get you? You're going to arrest you and throw you in a dark cell with people like me who go.
No, I've actually got a bidding business that I'll be doing, but I got to drive all the way down to San Diego area.
Right. And by the way, I'm blaming you and other people for me going live yesterday. It's not ever going to happen again, just so you know. Just why I blame you. Come on, use your soundboard. Come on. No. Yeah. No. One thing I just want to say, I'm gonna be marking time until the storm is totally over and everything is sorted. Because to be perfectly honest with you, wait a minute, David Richards. I'm going to say something now. David Richards, right? You are an absolute buffoon. How the fuck can you turn around and call someone like Skipper far right? You absolute buffoon. Why don't you just get back on your little tricycle and ride back underneath that bridge where you come from? How dare you turn around and accuse anyone who has something to say and that you don't agree with is far right, just like what's been going on in this country over the last few months. It's people like you, right, who cause problems in the first place. So get on your tricycle, right, put your thumb in your mouth and trot off. Go on, off your trot.
And remember, everyone, the whole situation started because Otter Creek was charging Jeremy way too much money for water. They were overcharging him on his water bill. That's how everything started.
Right. I am now hereby requesting that one of the mods removes David Richards from this stream, please. Because if I was one, he would be gone. An absolute buffoon. It's people like that. Go to your happy place. Go to your happy place. Oh, they're playing the Imperial March in my happy place. 1 second, I'll be right with you. Oh, yes. Unbelievable. People like that. Unbloody believable. You're bringing that crap here. Oh.
The trolls never bother me. They make me laugh.
That day, the thing is, basically, what they were saying, and like what they're saying, if someone calls you far right over here at the moment, you are a racist. That's basically what they're saying. And yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Anyway,
Hey, I was going through. I was watching The Expert the other night, and he was showing the hurricane, and he was going through. And oh, if you guys get a chance, check out that stream. It was hilarious. A dude shocked himself. He's walking through. He's got his pants pulled up, and he's walking through the water in his house, and he's like, "Oh, the GFI plug is out," and he goes and touches it and gets himself shocked live.
Oh my
oh
god!
It
God.
was hilarious. But he was going through, and one thing I've noticed something. All these men who are like older than me, and I'm in my mid 40s. Okay, men who are like in their 50s, 60s. I'm noticing there's a trend when they do live streams. They do them from their garage, and I'm just like, why are you? Oh, why is this like a big thing? Like, I would.
It's a safe zone.
What's
It's
that?
a safe. It is. Listen, I'm
Have they
older
been
than
kicked
you.
out of their homes by their wives? Like, you're not doing that here. Get out.
Talking
Yeah,
about live streams.
Hey
How
Jen, I'm
dumb.
calm. I'm calm. It just the thing is, you have to understand over here in the UK, being called far right is basically someone calling you a racist, and I will not tolerate that. I don't care who it is. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, Mike. Listen. When you see old fuckers old individuals in a garage, that's our safe zone. That's our man cave. That's where
Not for me.
the lady.
No woman. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I haven't found a woman. Because
Talk.
like, I would never do a show from my garage unless if I was doing a car show. Like, if I'm working on stuff in my garage, that's when I'll do stuff. But I'm not going to set up a studio. I'm just like,
Why-
what?
I just
Talking
pictured,
about live streams. There was this.
I just pictured Skipper at 60 years old sitting in the garage with a freaking Tankman and Humvee behind him going, "Hey guys, welcome to Vet Nation. This is your host Skipper, and tonight we're going to be talking about 105mm and 155mm that make pow pow and boom boom."
That's
Talking about
that's another thing.
live
People always want me
streams.
to do a vet bro show. You'll never see me doing those. Like, I have zero interest in doing that type of a show. Maybe it's because I was in the military too long that, like, I'll talk about my stories and stuff like that, and I'll talk to veterans about their stories. But if you want to know what the effective range of an M249 is, I've got zero interest in that.
No,
Talking about live
I'm
streams.
just busting your balls. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Just so you,
People get mad I don't do a show like that.
just very quickly, I'm right. Okay, as you can tell, Spawn Trooper, yeah, Stormtrooper, Storm. Okay, I like Star
Bye,
Wars.
Jackie.
Bye, Jackie. I like Star Wars, and I am going to be designing my own sort of like man cave thing once I get my garage sorted. And I'm going to film it. I'm going to make it like, I'm going to step by step and film it. I'm going to have backgrounds with lights. There's going to be blinking lights, just like in the film. I got a friend who does special effects. He's already showed me, how to do it. And then once I get that done, I have a fiberglass Stormtrooper helmet that I'm gonna complete with a voice changer, and I'm gonna have.
So at my last house, we did my son's room as a Stormtrooper bedroom. So that's him when he was younger, and we did that. And hold on, you'll like this because I was like, "What theme do you want?" And he was like, "I want a Stormtrooper's bedroom." And we still have this. I made that light.
Yeah, that there, right, is basically the corridor light on a Death Star. And usually, just for the record, just shows you how much of a nerd I am, usually they're about 7 foot tall, and you will have 7 lights. You will have, if you look at them, you have 7 lights. Yep.
That was the light switch. And that was, I bought that for like $10 off of Amazon. It's just the like buttons from like a pinball machine.
Yeah.
And, but that was the Star Wars bedroom. Now, if we're going to do something like that again, he's got to let me know. But we may. But it was a lot of fun making that.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm done, I've already done the research, and basically, just on a quick one about this, it's going to take me about 3.5 months to do it. The length of cable, we're looking at about 600 to 700 meters of cable length. And there's going to be LEDs. We've calculated there's going to be over, I think, 5,500 LEDs.
Had I owned that house, I would have taken out the door and put in pocket doors, and I would have bought a air compressor to put inside the door to make it an automatic door that does that.
Oh yeah. We were talking about live streams.
I didn't own the house, and I didn't
shit,
want
wait
to
a
have to do a ton of renovation to put it back when I left.
Let's go back to talking about live streams for a sec. How dumb can a certain live streamer be during a hurricane to be on a live stream showing their security cam footage of the outside of the front of their house where their car is parked in the driveway? Literally, that is so stupid. Now people can find you. You gave your location away by showing the front of your house like that. A certain live streamer, I'm not going to mention the name of their channel because I'm not going to give them any promotion.
Right. Okay. So very quickly, I want to introduce you to my project. Basically, what we're going to do, I'm going to, if I may, Mike.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Right. Basically, this here is the entrance. Obviously, this light is going to be behind the door. This will be the door, and it opens inwards. You got the box. You'll have all this will be boxed. So basically, the door will be will be within that box. So you'll have like 3-4 inches. This here will be the light switch. This will be the door. Again, a light panel, and then this will just be static. This will just be display.
So I'll tell you what I did. For those lights, I built a box and I put LEDs along the side, faced inward, and then I just used poster board in front of the holes to diffuse it.
Yep. Well, what I'm going to be doing with this, when I put the lights in, I'm going to paint everything inside. I'm going to be painting it silver or chrome. The lights are basically going to go on the side, or they're going to go where you see the lines here. Where you see these lines here, okay, the lights are either going to go down here or they're going to go in between each line. Don't
put the if this is where the light is actually going to come out, don't put the LEDs behind it because you'll see the LEDs. Put them on the sides, faced inwards. Then you can't see that was a tip because I initially had them like on the wall and I had to move it all. But
The lights are going to go on these panels, and these panels are going to be magnet connected. So basically, that means I can take them down. Right. This here is the whole design. Okay. So basically, you've got the door here that opens this way. You will then have this on the back wall. This is the back wall. So basically, my desk will be sitting here. This panel here will be behind me. Now, this panel here is going to be separated because in there you're going to have socket connections. You're going to have.
Bye, Belinda. Have a good day.
So you're going to have like different sockets and stuff like that. And then also I'm going to be putting in a coffee machine, like an instant coffee machine.
Like Spaceballs?
Yeah, like Spaceballs. Right. Now, as you can see here, this is what I'm talking about, the lights, right? All right. The top lights here these are basically the top lights and the bottom lights. In Star Wars, they're basically alert bars. They're called alert bars. So they will be different colors. So these will be white. As you can see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 6 lights. What I'm going to do, the bottom ones are going to be color changed. So they're going to be the alarm bars. The top ones are going to stay white. So everything here is going to stay white. That's there.
Wall sticker.
Excuse me?
That cost me about $60.
Oh, right. Okay. But all this here is going to be MDF and plywood and everything else.
Spawn, don't forget, Mike has to get going soon.
Yeah, I know. All right. And for the side wall, Okay, I am looking at this for the sidewall to have another light there. So basically, when I'm actually live streaming or if I'm on, obviously you won't see me.
I don't
But
have
we'll-
pictures, but I did do kind of that texture. But what I did was I took poster board, I painted it the same color as the wall, and then I glued it onto the wall.
Right. And one other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be a little bit cheeky, is basically I've decided that I'm going to sort of mix and match, and I'm going to have this. Oh, a minute. I'm going to have this running on a what you call it, on a little
Screen?
iPad. That's iPad screen that's going to be in there, and it's going to have all these different LCAS on it.
Mhm.
And so this is the helmet that I made.
I do have to get going.
Yep.
So
I just thought I'd share that.
thank you guys for coming. It was a good stream that we did today. I will not be doing one in the morning tomorrow because I will likely be asleep because of traveling. But maybe tomorrow night I'll do one. We'll have to see. But thank you to Spawn Trooper and Secret Squirrel. Everyone go to federationfoundation.com, order some of our merchandise.
Also, don't forget about Willis GoFundMe to help his family member get a new place.
Yep. What you doing, Willis? His parents, their home was damaged. So for what they're doing, go ahead and go to that GoFundMe. It looks like Eric Miller, I think he's going to be doing a stream. Here's his thing. Go to his YouTube channel and watch his stream next. Here's Willis's GoFundMe. So if you're so blessed, please donate to that. And thank you everyone for joining me. And as usual, thank you for being worth serving.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.
That was fucking.